to another episode of Collector's Quest. I'm Tyler, here with Johnny. Johnny, what's going on?
Hey, Tyler. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, Johnny. Johnny, do you want me to just lead in with the fact that Mighty Bomb Jack sold 1.5 million copies on the Famicom?
What is that? Please give them the whole fact. Tell them everything they need to know about Mighty Bomb Jack.
No one needs to know anything about Mighty Bomb Jack. What are you talking about?
The sales statistics of the Famicom versus Mighty Bomb Jack.
Right. So the original Famicom sold 19 million units in Japan.
It's a lot. 19 million.
That is a lot. I don't have the best-selling Famicom games in front of me. I'm sure it's going to be, things like Super Mario Brothers and Zelda and all that. So I don't know if this is like cracking the top 10 best-selling Famicom games or something, but like 1 in 10 people who owned a Famicom owned Mighty Bomb Jack, a game that literally in conversations throughout the decades of NES does not come up. It just doesn't exist.
Yeah. Nope. No one's really, I was reading one of the facts about Mighty Bomb Jack that it received, from one of the Japanese review magazines, one of the big ones, got the same review score as Zelda in the same magazine. Yeah. They gave Zelda a 7.5/8, same to Mighty Bomb Jack. So those are definitely comparable games.
Yeah, this came up because I was looking at the arcade game Naughty Boy from 1982, a game I've never heard of, and I said it's like Robotron-ish, but you throw bombs, and you said, "Oh, like Bomb Jack," and that led me down the hole to finding out that Mighty Bomb Jack is incredibly popular in Japan.
And if you want to know something else about Mighty Bomb Jack and in the history of how PAL art, a lot of like Japanese art usually good, and then PAL art gets a lot of like weird bad art. Yeah, Mighty Bomb Jack is up there. The Mighty Bomb Jack art for the US is not great, but go look at that PAL art and you will suddenly appreciate what the US got. Oh, you know what I meant to do last episode, Tyler, that I didn't, and I wanted to like just tell people about?
What's up?
I'm just going to shill. Here's your advertisement time. I wanted to tell you about the Postal app. And
Postal app?
Yeah, there's a US Postal app that I really like called Informed Delivery. And it's actually from the USPS. And you can like sign in and link yourself to your address. So anytime anybody is sending you anything, it like pops up like in your packages. It's like a tracking tool. You can just be like, oh, informed delivery. And it says, okay, you've got like these pieces of mail that are coming today. And it shows you pictures of your mail. It tells you how many packages you have coming on that day and like what the tracking number is, what packages you have coming in the next couple of days. It's great. Like, yeah, if you get a bunch of packages and it's usually through USPS, you should have this informed delivery app by the USPS. It's great. I can't say enough good things about it.
This episode's sponsored by USPS Informed Delivery for when it needs to get there. The United States Postal Service. No, I like having just packages randomly show up and it's like Christmas every day. That's my favorite.
It's still like Christmas, Tyler. It's still like Christmas.
No, I feel like it ruins the magic if I know it's coming. I want to come home from work and be like, ooh, I got a box. What's in that?
No, because you're going to go, ooh, 3 boxes are coming today. And sometimes they update it like midday, like as they're going through their route, they're like, oh, we're actually going to get this delivered to you today and not tomorrow. And you check, you're like, oh, bonus package. I don't confirm what my tracking numbers are unless I absolutely have to. It's an important package, but I'm like, ooh, I got 3 coming today. I wonder what I'm getting today. It's still very exciting.
I feel like
especially
this is ruining some of the dopamine for me if I know it's coming.
No, I don't think so. I think you're underrating anticipation.
I guess. I only like hardcore track stuff. If there's like some rare thing I got, like that Sims pre-order disc, Johnny. No, I don't know why I keep bringing that up. But if there's like something serious, I'll just like hit the track in every day and then just like run home from work whenever it comes. But
yeah, see, but you could just have the informed delivery app and then that's doing that for you and you could only use it in those cases. It's nice because it works with like foreign stuff. So like I just got a package from Albania for my wife, a Harry Potter book, obviously. But it like updated me. I was like, okay, it finally made it to the US. Now it's in the US tracking system. So here you go. Like you know it made it to US soil and now here's when it'll get to you. Because the initial like eBay thing was like, it's going to arrive by July 25th. And now it's like, oh no, it's coming today, dude. You're good.
All right, Johnny, Albanian Harry
a good app.
Potter. What's the end game with the Harry Potter collection here? Are you like all the pretty books sing? Are you getting every translation of every book? What's going on?
Okay, so it's not me, by the way. It's not me. It's my wife.
Yes.
This is not my collection. This is her office, her stuff, her library. So she is like, and she asked me, like, she's like, what should our collecting goal be? Because she's just like, buy everything. And I'm like, that is not tenable. We cannot do that.
Well, I do it all the time.
Yeah, I know. And then she looks at my video games and she's like, that's weird because, like, it seems pretty possible. And I was like, well, you might have a point. But, like, here's what people do. There's this list of the 95 books that this book was published in these 95 languages, and that's not exactly true because it's not actually 95 languages. Some of the languages have retranslations, so it's like a different text block. So the list is comprised of 95 books, which may have a couple of different translations for the language. So imagine there's like 85 languages on there, maybe a little more, like plus or minus 5, either way. And then like all the unique text blocks is what she's going for. So that's what she's doing. But she also is like, buy all the cool, unique art. So yeah, I've been like looking for the rare ones and stuff for her. The Albanian one isn't rare. It's just like, it's actually like a newer print. It's just like $70 when you have to buy it, which is annoying.
All right. So
the end game is to get all 95.
Okay. Why'd you go down to 85 there?
No, because
it sounded
I'm saying
like
there's
there was
80,
a goal.
There's 85 unique languages, right?
Okay.
But there's 95 unique text blocks. And if like we really get into the minutia,
what's a text?
There's really like the text block is the actual text of the book, you know? So like the story itself. So like the Russian translation, they came in and they had a fine Russian translation and they said, oh, a new publisher picked it up. We're going to retranslate the book and we're going to do a better translation of this in Russian. So they redid it and it turned out not to be a better translation.
Oh my God.
But that means the text block changed, right? So like if you look at the two Russian copies, it's very similar. It's like, it's not like a new language or anything, but they aren't exactly the same. So it's different. It's not considered a variant. It's a retranslation.
So are you so in this goal to get the 95 languages, are you going for a philosopher's stone of each of them? Or are you just getting a random book of each of them?
Yeah, and this is contained uniquely to Philosopher's Stone. Most people don't collect all 7 of everything, but my wife likes box sets and so do I. So we have a bunch of box sets. So out of these 95, she has over 600 books.
All right. I mean, it is a 7-book series, so that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, but not every language got every book. So there's a bunch of books where they only got the first book translated, which is annoying, but yeah.
Johnny, I don't like box sets. As you know, you
don't like box sets?
Especially for books, I'm going to say. One of the most frustrating things about box sets is that they'll release them before a series is complete. Like I guarantee there's probably Harry Potter 1 through 4 box set. And then you have a box set of not the full thing. And why do you want that?
Yeah, well, it's because it's for people who are picking up the series then, so they can just buy them all at one discounted rate.
I don't want like the collector box around it. Like, sure, just wrap them all in plastic or something. But don't make me feel like I have to keep this box.
I think books are a little different. Like, also because the box, it's not like game boxes. Like, usually the box set displays the spine. So you're just like, put the box on there, and it's only taking up as much room as the books would have taken up anyways, pretty much.
But if I'm the new Harry Potter reader, I'm coming in right when Goblet of Fire came out, and I get the box set up to Goblet of Fire.
Yeah,
are they going to have set. Are the books in that box set the regular books? Or are they going to have like, oh, this is the box set cover?
Nope, it's the regular books.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's not like a not for resale. Yeah, it's not a not for resale or anything. They just like literally are just bundling them together. And yes, Harry Potter did that for in the UK they did it for books 1 and 2, and then in Canada and the US they started at book 3, And then they've got one for book 4, book 5, book 6, and then book 7 has a bunch of box sets, but that's fine because it's complete. Man, no one wants to hear about this shit. Why?
I got a comment from the last episode that someone loved our Lego talk. So people want to hear about what you're collecting besides. Yeah, I was editing that show and it was like 20 minutes of talking about Legos, Johnny. I'm like, oh my God, no one is going to listen to this episode.
They're like, we're like ways to enjoy collecting more. Listen to something not about video games. Ugh, gross. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I did that to you, everyone.
It's okay, Johnny. We're going back to not just basics. We're going back to the most basic collecting video games topic of all time with this episode.
All time. Okay. Should I tell people what the question is? Like the premise?
You could tell me what the question is because I don't know what that means.
Okay, what the question would be. Okay, basically the question is this. If someone walked up to you being Tyler and me being Johnny, and said, hey, I'm going to collect for the Nintendo. I've decided the NES is for me. What games would you buy? Like, I want my shelf to look cool. What are the games you would buy? And that's the premise of this episode. And we limited it to 10. And Tyler can take his own way. He's got his reasons. I've got my reasons. These aren't necessarily the best games. These aren't necessarily our favorite games, though some of them are. So, and this will be a series. And for some of you longtime listeners, you're like, I don't care about this. I think I know your opinions. Or, hey, the Nintendo is pretty basic. Isn't everybody's top 10 going to be the same? Yeah, it probably is. But I don't think that will be true for every system. And also, we have people who are at different points of their collecting journey. Some people are just coming in, so we have to be a little bit accessible sometimes. But this is a question even that like we still get in our questions on the Patreon when people ask us like, oh man, what are your favorite games? What games do you like to collect? And I think this helps answer that in the form of an episode and will be a nice companion episode to our So You Want to Collect. And then we've got another couple of series and our console ratings. So we'll be able to package like a whole thing. Like here's a bunch of information about the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Genesis, PlayStation. So we'll have like this grouping of episodes. And I like that. So you can make yourself a little playlist.
Oh, you should just listen to every episode. Actually, maybe don't listen to every episode. Like, maybe don't go back to like when the audio quality was worse.
No, you should start at like episode 70 and just like around there. Like,
but then you're gonna miss the Star Wars episode, the episode that everybody loved, that got all the listens. Everyone didn't listen to that one anyways. And also, like, the more my criteria has changed, like, you should listen to the Star Wars episode because you should see how much my criteria has changed for collecting from that Star Wars episode. Like, when I made that list to what my list looked like now. It's a staggering change in the last 7 years. That honestly, that would be probably pretty interesting. Were you like Mr. Spreadsheet then? Like, I got it all figured out. I know what Star Wars games I want, and now it's completely different 7 years later.
Now it's completely. I'm cutting it off here, and I'm like, why did I make that cut up? Why did I put these variants in here? I didn't look at the Atari. What was I doing? I mean, like, PC games, that's really hard. Should I, like, be into that? Now I'm, like, slowly making my PC list, which there's, like, 100 PC games, and then if you, like, try and get into the variants, you'll kill yourself. You'll literally go mad. You'll just be like, you're like, oh, I'm looking into the face of Cthulhu, I'm going insane, and now I'm killing myself because I can't handle it. That's what documenting computer variants are.
There are probably some Star Wars like iOS games that have been delisted. Do you need to go buy like used iPhones that have those Star Wars games on it?
Yeah, that's why I'm keeping my iPhone 3. It's just no, fuck that. That's weird. Tyler, how's your Snake phone doing?
My Snake phone is awesome. Everybody go. Actually, I'm not going to tell everyone to go out and get it because I do want to upgrade mine. I have a box for mine, but it's definitely missing some documentation. I am looking for. It's the Nokia brick phone is basically what you're imagining in your mind. I have one complete in box. I am looking to upgrade my complete in box cellular phone. It's
nice.
Awesome. All right. Anyway,
no, it is not. I know if we went
I bought this years ago at this point.
I know, and it's still the dumbest thing you've ever bought.
It was only $40. I can't find another complete in box one.
When you die in many, many years from now, and somehow, for some reason, I'm older than you, but somehow still alive, and I have to go help Ada with all this stuff, she's going to be like, what about this Nokia phone? And I'm just going to be like, No,
Just
no.
throw it out.
No, just put it in the trash. Just e-waste it.
Donate it. The Video Game History Foundation. That's video game history right there.
You know what? And there's going to be people like, I don't know, the Fleo who are on your side. And like, I'm going to be like, hey, man, you want this? Here's the price. And he's going to snap it up. He's going to think he got such a good deal, too.
Johnny,
there's a few
I'm going to
who
tell
have
you
your
something
sickness.
that Joe's going to agree with me on. Mobile gaming, cell phone gaming, most important gaming platform of all time.
Okay. Okay. But more important than rock?
I mean, everything comes back to rock and stick. So, I mean, you really can't get more foundational
I don't
than
know.
rock
I
and
think
stick.
rock. I think rock comes before stick. I think rock is more important than stick, and I think you can make that argument.
I feel like I looked into this and there's no conclusive evidence over what the first games were.
I know.
No, if anyone is not following the thread of conversation, technically, the concept of games probably started with a rock or a stick, and cavemen came up with games for those. Anyway, Johnny, to talk about something popular that people want to hear about, the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Is it popular? Didn't we just kind of say that like kids don't give a shit about it anymore?
Kids definitely don't give a shit about the Sega Genesis. And by kids, I mean even people in their 20s might not give a shit about the Sega Genesis. I think everyone, like, NES is so iconic that, like, even when Nintendo puts out, like, the next Super Mario Odyssey game, there's going to be nods to Donkey Kong and Super Mario Brothers in that game.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for Nintendo to finally just be like, let's capitalize on all the nostalgia in a gross way that we haven't done before. And like people are like, oh, Nintendo's like they do this like, oh, you bought this game once, but now it's on a new system. Let's like make you rebuy all of your digital games, which is obnoxious. But wait until they start repackaging just shells of like Super Mario Brothers in a black box that you can go buy. They just start limiting run. Like, they just let Limited Run have the license to the original black box games, and then you're going to have to buy the Limited Run black box set.
No, I think you overestimate how much people care about the black box games. But I do think Nintendo could milk their shit.
I don't think anyone, like, I'm not overestimating it. I just think that the minute that happened, and then someone else, like a company, put importance on it and made it a limited collectible, it would be crazy.
I mean, they would release that themselves. They wouldn't give it to Limited Run. But
Well,
they definitely could milk their shit more than they even do now. Because, I mean, they don't need to do that because they put out Super Mario 3D All-Stars and put out the lie that it would somehow be limited, and it's one of the best-selling Switch games. It's just emulated ports of 3 Mario games, and it made them hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah. That's why I said, like, they are doing it, but wait until they do it in this super gross way. Don't look at it.
But even if they say, I guess Super Mario Brothers, if they literally released an NES cartridge, a limited NES cartridge of Super Mario Brothers and charged $1,000 a box, and they released 1,000 copies of it, it would fucking sell out. They would make $1 million, and that's nothing to them. So why are they going to bother?
I don't know. I'm just like, I don't think they're going to think of it in those terms. I think someone like Limited Run will come to them and then obtain the license to do that, and then they'll make $1 million. They'll have to spend a bunch of money, and Nintendo's just like, we don't have to do anything, and here's like $10 million on our bottom line. Sure.
They don't have to do anything except risk their brand to Limited Run.
I see. Well, I would argue that that's not going to hurt their brand. They're going to be like, look, everything's sold out. Even those Mega Man sold out eventually when we sold them to Best Buy.
This sounds fanciful. Imagining
and
Nintendo
I know that I know that Limited Run didn't sell the Mega Mans, guys. I know that's I Am 8-bit, but you get my drift.
Capcom is more of a whore for money than
Oh,
Nintendo.
absolutely. You know what I wish Konami would do? I wish Konami would partner further with Limited Run games, and all the Nintendo games that came in dumb Ultra boxes over here in the US got silver box releases. Do that. Like, I want my Metal Gear.
On some level, I agree, but this is such a niche ask. So, to be clear about what you're talking about, yeah, so the Ultra games, it's Ultra, if you don't know, it's basically another label for Konami games because Nintendo only let publishers publish so many games back in the NES era because they wanted to keep quality up. But they let companies like Konami lie and just create another label called Ultra Games, which were just fucking Konami games. And they have kind of ugly boxes in America, but in Europe, they got the same silver boxes that games like Castlevania got. So Johnny wants the Metal Gear that's not in the Ultra Games box, but it's in the Konami silver.
And here's where you should come talk sense to me. Just be like, just buy the PAL one, Johnny. Don't buy a fake collectible.
I don't care either way. I'm gonna just have the Ultra Games box. Just buy it on MSX. It's Metal Gears and MSX games. Yeah,
that's true. We'll talk about it later.
All right, I got two things to bring up here. One, speaking of limited run games, Johnny, did you know that there is a gold Galf cartridge from limited run games? I just learned about this while I was researching for this episode.
Why would I know that?
I don't know. So if you go on price charting and you sort their NES list by highest price, one of the things towards the top is Galf Gold cartridge for NES by Limited Run Games. And I'm like, what the hell is that? So Galf was an NES homebrew that they released. And there's 2 color cartridges. There's like a white one and a green one. I don't remember which one was the cooler one to buy.
Well, apparently there's 3.
There's 4. There's also silver ones. They were intending to hold a contest similar to Nintendo's, I think it was Nintendo's first ever like nationwide contest in Japan. It was for Famicom Golf Japan course. So in that contest, the winners got like gold copies of Famicom Golf. So what they did, they made gold and silver copies of this Golf homebrew cartridge, and then they just canceled the contest. They had a reason for it. I think it might have just been like, I'm not going to run this contest. I'm lazy.
Maybe it was coronavirus.
Something happened, and they given away at least some of the cartridges on like their live streams, but it's like this kind of like weird limited run games thing where it's like, how do you get one of these cartridges? And I don't it was like $1,000 on price charting or something, but I think this is actually kind of cool. I think the technically rarest limited run game might be an NES homebrew. Kind of cool.
Is it?
I bet if you literally went to Lowe's, got like whatever the most common gold spray paint is, and spray painted your personal copy of Golf, it might be the same exact thing as what they did. So,
what about Poop Slinger? Rarer than Poop Slinger? That's a joke. Yes.
Whoa. What about that new game? There's like Limited Rare Games is still putting out games. They just one of their new PS4 games just shipped, and people are like $1,000 for Demon Pit.
Tamashi?
No, like Damashi, I feel like still even after Poop Slinger, I feel like Damashi still had like, it was not hard to get, but harder to get than a normal game. But Demon Pit was up for pre-order for like days. There are 25 right now, on 25 sealed copies on eBay, and they all have asking prices of like hundreds of dollars. It makes no sense. Yeah,
but like Tamashi, I think you got to pay like a minimum of like $1,500 for that.
Yeah, like there's only 6 copies of Tamashi, and they're all over $1,000. The cheapest one's $1,500. I don't get it. I don't get another one. Paprium, the watermelon game for Sega Genesis. Apparently, people are paying like $800+ for that game.
Yep. I mean, I almost bought one for $300. Now I look foolish for not. I was like, I just decided I didn't care. I'm like, I don't actually care.
It's I mean, is this like the world of modern comics where like random issues just become hot and like, oh, this came out 3 years ago, but this is the $1,000 variant cover. It's weird that they're games that no one really cares about that this happens to.
I'm going to bring up something to you, and I want you to guess. Here, before we get into the episode, I like to do a would you rather or some question for you. I'm going to do it early in the episode. Okay.
If one of them is Poop Slinger, I'm picking the other one.
Okay. No. Yeah, it's like, what would you rather have, Poop Slinger or Golf? That's not a good competition. I know what you would pick. No, it's not even going to be a what if. I just want you to guess. This is just a guessing game. How much do you think the original mailer, just the bubble mailer for Poop Slinger that you can confirm, no game, just the bubble mailer with the postage and everything on it, how much do you think that might have sold for?
All right, so without looking up anything, since Tamashi looks like it's about $1,000 to $1,500, I don't know. Like, first of all, I don't know how many of these sales are real because who is like completing a PS4 set and they're like, oh no, if I don't have Tamashi. I'm gonna guess Poop Slinger is $3,000 to $5,000 at least, including fake sales. So the bubble mailer is maybe $1,000 on top of that.
And it's just a generic bubble mailer. There's nothing special about it. It's literally just a bubble mailer.
Is it $1,000?
It sold for €350.
Fantastic.
Well, I see. I say that, but then it also got like I think it was purchased, and then I think it was reneged on, and then because now it's back up. But yeah, originally one list says sold for $350. Either that, or this person had two of them and is trying to capitalize twice. But I think that's impossible.
I will just say, in terms of limited rare games, I don't know anything about limited rare games, but they did something where if you actually opened up, it might have been with Demon Pit, but you opened up their game, there was like some kind of, they either have an ARG, an alternate reality game going on, or they're hiding something in their games. There's some reason for you to open up their games, and there's like a contest to get something even rarer if you win the contest. Go look at their Twitter for details on that, but I do appreciate that this fake company that puts out video games is trying to make people open their games.
Yeah, that's good. All right, now let's get into it. We've meandered long enough. Let's get into our list. We have a lot of overlap, I think, but
also I do want to make clear that I basically approached this episode from the perspective of my house burned down. I have no NES games, and I'm only going to buy 10 NES games. So this isn't what I'm going to just recommend someone off the street to buy. This is what I would rebuild if I was only rebuilding up to 10 games.
Okay, and my list is more of someone asked me. I've explained this to Tyler, but he was like, I refuse this premise. I will do my own.
Well, I mean, you could just type in best NES games on Google, and the first 10 you get are probably gonna
yeah.
Be
But
those.
I mean, this is a person asking your opinion, what you would buy. Like, you're an expert. They look at you. You're an expert, Tyler. What would you do?
Google algorithmically is smarter than me. Google is combining all sources. What is Google? You get a lot of bad info that way, and then a lot of ads too. Like, come on. Number 7, the 7th Google game for best NES games. It says River City Ransom.
Wrong. Not on either of our lists. See.
Also puts Duck Hunt in the top 10. Duck Hunt is okay. Duck Hunt, like, maybe one of the most overrated games of all time. Guys, come on.
Yep.
I've sat down and tried to get good at Duck Hunt, like, because you can have a perfect game of Duck Hunt. I forget, is it after 20 levels? I think it stops getting harder, and it gets, like, really hard at the end. But, like, after you play 2 serious games of Duck Hunt, you're like, I'm fucking done with Duck Hunt, guys. If you think, like, Duck Hunt is one of the best games ever, how often have you played that game for longer than 10 minutes at a time?
They probably haven't. It's also not the first Duck Hunt, so get out of here with Duck Hunt.
Oh, going back to the original electromechanical Duck Hunt.
That's
Johnny.
right.
Oh, I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah. Which we talked about in an episode a long time ago. No.
All right. What do we let's get into the coolest of our top 10 the rarest NES games.
The rarest. Yeah. Tyler, if we really wanted to clickbait it, we would have made it like 11 games. 11 games you'll buy. You won't believe number 7.
I'm going to try to highlight all the games that we have in common because I'm going to be confused otherwise.
All right. And do you want to... We'll take turns, and we'll go through the highlighted ones first.
Oh, all right. Who's starting?
Are they all highlight? We only have 5 in common? That's pretty good. Yeah. You can start. You can go first.
All right, Johnny, this is going to be a pretty deep cut. It's a game called Super Mario Brothers. A game I literally only own because we did a similar episode where it was the $1,000 game draft, and we had to basically $1,000 to build a video game collection. And I'm like, obviously, Super Mario Brothers is going to be one of them. And while taking the episode picture for Instagram for that episode, I realized I didn't have a copy of Super Mario Brothers, and one of the first things I got for that episode was the entire complete in box Mario trilogy on NES. This was back when Super Mario Brothers was $30 complete in box. So I literally, just to get the picture for that episode, I bought a Super Mario Brothers.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that turned out to be a great purchase because it's a hang tab, and man, don't want to buy that now. But it also would be like one of the first NES games I buy, according to this episode. So,
yeah, but you have some caveats with yours. What are you? If you're buying it, you're telling someone what are these caveats you're giving to them?
Yeah, these aren't caveats. It's how much I would budget or what I would go for. And there's really two things, I guess, like the matte sticker sealed Super Mario Brothers with the correct manual with like no date on the inside cover. So like the first American test market release of Super Mario Brothers, it's like I would say $10,000 to $50,000 is what I would buy, and like I realized that the Mintus 9.0 WATA graded copy on Heritage Auctions could sell for more than that. But like if I was legitimately trying to own a matte sticker sealed Super Mario Brothers, that might be what it takes right now to get one. Even if I was like rebuilding my dream collection from scratch with hundreds of thousands of dollars of insurance money, I don't know that I would shell that out for a single complete in box copy of Super Mario Brothers. So more realistically, I would go for a hang tab copy. Just I don't care about the specific version. I know there's like 19 different versions of Super Mario Brothers. Any copy that has the cardboard cutout hang tab on the back of it. And I would budget something like $350 to $500 for that. And for all my prices, I realize you could get a hang tab copy of Mario for cheaper than that. But to get a reasonably nice one that's complete with the poster and like the baggie and all that, and it's a black box, so you kind of want them in better condition because those show wear a lot. I would maybe pay up to $500 for that.
Yeah, and for me, I kept it similar where my pricing doesn't reflect the cheapest price. It reflects what I think you should be looking to pay in a reasonable condition. Like if I was going to rebuy as well, like I don't think you need to have a hang tab. So my money is probably like $250 to like, but could be as much as $500. I would prefer a hang tab, but my only real caveat is no white oval seals. Get those out of here. Please do not do that. Just get yourself a nice circle seal. Hang tab preferred, but if you can't, but you're looking at $250 to $350 on that. Like get a nice one. Maybe even spend, as Tyler said, up to $500. And yeah, so we agree there, Tyler.
Yeah, I don't think you even have to worry about oval seals for Mario. I mean, I know those are obviously the most common sealed ones, but I don't like who has a oval seal Super Mario Brothers. Just because it came out so late, I feel like they're probably rarer complete in box.
Probably, and like the rarity isn't the defining thing for me there, and it clearly isn't in collecting as well. But I just don't like the white oval seals, especially on the black boxes. On the black boxes, they're like unforgivable to me.
Yeah, and I agree. I don't care how rare they are. I know that like some games, like I know like Pinball has new old stock of the circle seal, and like the oval seals. Ooh, it's the rarer copy of Pinball. Forget it. Who cares? If it's ugly, I don't want it. I guess we talk about games like Super Mario Brothers all the time now on the show. One thing I'll say, if I'm spending tens of thousands of dollars on a matte sticker Super Mario Brothers, it's gotta have the Rob poster in it. Some of these copies that are like graded and all that shit, they're missing the poster, and the 1985 Rob poster that came with all the early black box games is all the same for all the original 17 black box games. Came out in 1985. I don't. Someone might have to check me on that, but there's a specific Rob poster that comes with the early black box games. And people are paying like $70,000 for a copy missing the poster. You know what? I understand. If there's the super rare, amazing early edition Mario that comes up and it's like, wow, this is the piece. Fine. Spend to the moon for it. But fucking make sure it's complete. Drives me nuts, Johnny. This has always driven me nuts. Just like when Mike Tyson's Punch-Out first got big and people were buying graded complete in box copies without the letter for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Drives me nuts.
I don't know what to tell you, Tyler.
All right,
just relax. It's okay. Those posters aren't important. No, like
oh my god.
What I would do if I bought one that was graded like that, I would immediately because I have the money if I'm spending that much money on it. I would buy a poster and ask them to recase it with the poster inside. Like, please fix this. That's ridiculous.
I'd be worried. I don't that's like more material that you're shoving into a box, and like theoretically that box is like a $20,000 box or something now. Like,
Or, I mean, if they mess it up, isn't that on them? Then they got to pay you. Oh my God, they dropped it to a 7.5 from it. I was going to say a 7.8, which does not exist. We'd have to go right to an 8.
Like no amount of money would make me happy in that case. If I was like the guy with the best Mario in the world, the best matte sticker Mario in the world, and like it was ripped when it was in being recased or something, like, because you just can't get another one probably.
Well, that fundamentally goes against how I collect. I don't believe in buying the nicest one. And I'm not saying from an investment standpoint that that's wrong. Like the investment standpoint, probably the nicest one that you can find the cheapest and like get the biggest return on is the right answer. But I'm saying as a collector who likes to handle my games and let people come into my office and pick them up and everything, I want a good copy, but one that people can pick up, and I like that I'm not stressing out, like going out of my mind because they touched it. So, I usually don't buy the mintiest mint ones. And if I do have a really mint one of anything, I'm always like, ugh, and I don't like that feeling at all.
Okay. If anyone comes over my house, do not touch my stuff, please.
Really? You don't let people come into my office and like, can I see this? I'm like, yeah, pick it up. Go ahead. And they're always not like, they're always like, oh, can I touch it? And I'm like, yeah. That sounds really gross out of context, but yeah, they come into the office and like, can I pick up these games? I'm like, sure, yeah, it's not a museum. You may go ahead and pick that up and look at it. They're like, oh yeah, I loved this game as a kid. I let people connect with the items, Tyler.
See, my stuff's not organized enough, so just like I have like some just random sealed stuff that's just like spread out throughout my collection, and it's just like, in my guest room, right next to where people sleep, I've got a sealed first print Myst, which is just something I randomly picked up last year. And like, I've got unreasonable offers for that, like more than 15 times what I paid for it. And it's just like, I know I didn't pay a lot for that, but just don't touch it. It's worth too much now.
Oh, you should sell it and then just get a regular version.
No, that's the dream. I have the best version that I want, and I didn't pay a lot, Johnny. This is the dream. That's what I want to do for everything. I want to not pay a lot of money, but still have the cool thing.
Okay.
Also, if you're going to do that for Super Mario Brothers, I mean, don't spend $80,000 on a matte sticker Mario Bros. Just get the first print Famicom version, which is still somewhat rare and is earlier. So just do that instead. What are you guys doing?
Anyways, okay, we talked a lot about Super Mario Brothers.
No one's ever heard anything about Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, why did we talk that long?
I don't know. We need to not talk. Pick a more interesting game, please.
I tried to end it, and you were just like, "Let me go on."
I'm sorry. You went in. You were like, "I love when people touch my video games."
That was like minute 12 or 13 out of your 20 minutes. Anyways, next game, Zelda. Super easy one.
Oh, you're not going to pick an interesting one? All right.
No, we're just going. I mean, these 5 are not that we have in common are not interesting.
Oh, we're going through the 5 we have in common.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we'll get to The Legend of Zelda. Look,
what's that?
Again, this game you may have heard of. It comes in a gold box and it's got a cutout. Don't buy the classics. Like, don't get the wrong version. Get the right version. I don't care if you get the first print. I don't care if it's an R or a TM. What I'm recommending that you get is just, again, a circle seal. Get a nice circle seal, no ovals. Make sure the box is nice, no tears, because that stupid front thing, you can get like a lot of dings. So just spend a little money on it. Spend between $300 and $500. Get yourself a nice Zelda, and make sure that cutout's clean, and you've got a nice gold cartridge in there where it's not like it doesn't look like a black cartridge instead. Yeah, like just pay the money and do it once, buy once, cry once, and be done.
All right, for my collection, I am buying. I'm only getting these 10 games, so I'm getting the first print Zelda, Johnny. So if you look at the bottom of the box, after Nintendo Entertainment System, it has a TM instead of an R, and obviously there's no Rev A after that. And I was a little surprised looking at prices, but to get one in the condition I would want, which isn't even like super duper mint, but to get like a nice first print, and I want it, I want the maps and strategies insert. I want the correct baggie. Yeah. So the Zelda 1 and 2 baggies have specific baggies that have a hole in it, so you can see the cartridge color through the box without there being a baggie in the way. So if you just have a regular baggie with your NES Zelda, that's not correct. But yeah, to get the Zelda I would want these days, it would cost me $1,000 to $1,500, which is a little nuts.
It's a lot. It's a
But
lot.
that's like what a sealed early print Famicom disc copy goes for.
Okay. Yeah.
I gotta always bring up the earlier stuff, Johnny.
I know you do. All right. What's the next one on the list?
Contra.
Well, Contra.
I mean,
Do you know what it's not? It's not controversial. Guys, go buy yourself a nice Contra. Get a good one. It's a super popular game and will be probably forever. And pay $250 for it. Get it super clean. There is only an oval seal on the box. On the inside of the cart, you will find a circle seal, so they won't necessarily match. But spend that $250. Make sure it's complete. Make sure you got nice, good corners. Get everything. Just get a nice version of this game if you're going to put it on your shelf.
I agree. I had $250 as my budget for Contra. I realize, I don't want to... I'm not trying to seem bougie by overspending for games here. This is just like, I looked up what a nice Contra would cost, and I'm like, yeah, if I was going to buy a Contra, I would budget $250. I realize most people would probably spend less on a copy of Contra because obviously you can get a better deal than that.
Yeah, I mean, our prices came independently because we have different criteria. But even I was like, look, just buy the nicest Contra because there's not like a real way to mess up like the versions of Contra. So like, just get a nice one.
That is very convenient. I don't think there's a secret first print for Contra, which is very nice.
Yeah. So, all right, next one. This is one you can mess up. Hey, Castlevania. Okay, Castlevania, silver box. Make sure it's got everything in it. And look, you can disagree. You might say Castlevania 3 here instead of Castlevania, depending on your playing preferences. I have the most nostalgia for Castlevania. Also, if you were going to look on a shelf, I would want you to see Castlevania before you saw Castlevania 3. So yeah, that's my pick. Make sure you get it nice. You don't need to have a hang tab. Again, please have a black circle seal on there. No ovals. You get it super nice. Like you don't need a hang tab. Just make sure it's nice. Everything in it, no missing pieces, no missing inner flaps or anything. Spend that $400 on it. Just spend $400 or more. Like I think spending between $400 and $600 to get the nicest one possible in that range is like pretty good. And if you want to like upgrade to a hang tab, I'm not going to fault you. Do that, but just spend the money. It's Contra. Or it's Castlevania, sorry. It's just one of the best.
Either one. I definitely agree. I think I like Castlevania 3 as a game more, but Castlevania as the collectible, both because it's the first in the series. It's also an incredible game, and it has the hang tab rarity factor. Not that Castlevania hang tabs are particularly rare, but I mean, it's cooler than just having the first print with the contest insert of Castlevania 3, I think.
Yep.
I put my budget as $500. I mean, I think there are some copies on eBay, but some of them are a little bit grungy, and I don't think you would like that. Especially as a Castlevania guy, I don't know if you would be happy with your $400 Castlevania.
No, I would rather have a nice, just black circle seal, like a nice one, versus like a really shitty looking hang tab.
Sure, yeah. But I mean, John, this is my I only get 10 games that I could buy ever, so I've got to get the hang tab.
Yeah, and when your friends come over that you don't let touch your games, they'll never pick it up, and no one will know that hang tab's there for them to be even
good.
Like, that's impressive, and they pick up mine, and they're like, "What's that? Why has it got like this big weird thing on the back?" I'm like, "They're called hang tabs. They thought this was a good idea once. They wanted to hang this cartridge, which is actually kind of heavy, especially when you put all the paperwork in it, by this flimsy cardboard thing. And mind you, it could be on a peg for, I don't know, years. They thought this was a great design." Incorrect.
You know what's weird about episodes like this where we're basically talking about, like, if I was buying this many things, I would get these. So, like, a super nice Castlevania hang tab is in my top 10 NES things I would buy, and I don't have one. I have 2 Castlevania hang tabs, and one is, like, wrecked, and the other one is good, but it has a punched hang tab, which just means that, like, it's punched. It's not gone. It's just someone has separated it from the box. And I'm saying, like, it's like my favorite console and top 10 game for it. And I still think like, yeah, but I'm not going to spend fucking $500 just to buy another
I
copy
mean,
of Castlevania.
do you think that's old man price memory?
Absolutely. Oh yeah. I mean, it's been what? It's been 2 years since things went absolutely off the rails, and I still look at prices, and I'm just like, nope. It's not. You know what? It's not even price memory. It's comparing what I could buy on literally anywhere else, especially as someone buying like foreign computer games, where like if I'm spending $60 on a game, it's like, all right, we're gonna pay up a little bit for this one. So yeah, in the world of $500 video games, I realize, like, again, one of the most classic games of all time for one of the most classic consoles of all time, but I'm not looking to spend $500 on games I already have, especially.
I mean, yeah, hang tabs have come down a lot. Like, they used to be crazy. They like trashed ones were $700. Now you can get one. You can get a nice one for $1,000, right? Like under $750. $750. I saw one close at like $400. That was like pretty good. I mean, compared to what it was, like, I mean, remember, I still have hurt feelings over losing that like was not sent to me.
Yeah. I want to see when there's the global recession and we all lose our jobs and, the world's in financial panic. I'm excited to see what happens, Johnny, to those Castlevania hang tabs.
You're like, finally, I can get it for $50. Mm-hmm. No one will ever. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Someone send me a PM when the prices go down, guys. I don't know when it's happening. Believe me, I am not trying to pump up prices by saying that. I just don't know when the prices are going to go down. All right, what's next? We talked about Castlevania too much.
Yeah, Metroid.
All right, last game we agree on.
Yeah, Metroid. Again, just make sure it's nice. I don't care about the hang tab. All my same criteria. Nice silver box. The silver boxes and the black boxes, I mean, they get scuffed up. They look like really ugly. Though, I mean, this is different than like Castlevania because it's the Konami silver boxes, but Metroid also in a silver box. When it's messed up, they look horrible. So just get a nice one. Just make sure like no scuffs or like the whiting on it looks awful, I think. So spend $175 to $250 and just get like a pretty good Metroid. You want to spend a little more, get a hang tab? Sure. That's on you. Like, I'm not going to disagree with you, but just make sure it's a nice one and no white circle or no white ovals, please. That should be the title of this episode. No white ovals, please.
My Metroid budget, Johnny, is $400 for my sweet hang tab, and I think Metroid is probably the game I like least out of any of the games I picked, and
which is crazy.
I like Metroid, to be clear. I think Metroid is a fine game. I just even in the franchise of Metroid games, it might be my least favorite Metroid game. And part of that is just, I think it's weird to have a game that, like, there's like 2 bosses. There's 3 bosses if you count Mother Brain. And then...
you mean the end boss you don't count suddenly?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So what are the other 2? Mini bosses? Like...
Raiden,
it's a weird way to structure a game around only having that many. Even the earliest NES game, Donkey Kong, has 4 levels.
Yeah. But this, again, Ridley and... Oh my
Kraid.
God. Kraid, yes. I'm like, could not get his name out of my mouth correctly. Thank you. No, it doesn't. That's not the point of the game. And
I know.
Metroid revolutionized things. They taught you that
Absolutely.
The exploration and finding things was just as important as the bosses and like the ramping up of the difficulty and the levels and like your suit. Like, come on. It wasn't about the bosses.
I know.
Some games only have one boss.
So the other reason is when I think of Metroid, the area I immediately think of is it Kraid's Lair? What's Kraid's area called? I know it's the area like in the lower left of the map.
Yeah, like it's in the very beginning when you bomb down and go.
Oh yeah. So there's like 5 rows that are stacked on top of each other with literally identical rooms. And it was probably something to like save memory. We're just going to have like 25 rows of rooms that all look basically the same. And I get that it's like confusing and maybe meant to disorient you, but I just think it's super weird. And it's a very strange area. Anyway, Metroid's still great. You should buy Metroid. There's a whole genre that got named after it. It shouldn't be named after it.
Brinstar.
Brinstar. What's Kraid's Lair? Is Kraid's Lair something different?
I mean, Kraid's lair is in there, but it's
Oh,
Brinstar is
okay.
the area on the map.
Yeah, Brinstar. Brinstar's weird, guys. I'm right? There's like 5. Are there only 3 things that are stacked on top of each other? All right. Metroid feels bigger than it looks on a little map. Man, when you're playing that video game, it feels a lot bigger.
I think when you first were exposed to those type of games, it felt bigger, and now I think it feels very small.
Also, I'm definitely not talking about Brinstar. Hideout?
No,
Why is it? What? I need to cut this. This is no one cares about what area of Metroid I'm talking about. It's definitely Kraid's area in the bottom left
yeah,
of the map.
yeah, it's Kraid's area. Oh,
Anyone
you
who's played
come
Metroid knows what I'm talking about. Anyone who hasn't played Metroid is like, Tyler, what the fuck are you talking about? No one knows specific areas of the Metroid map.
Well, yeah. Is it you come from Brinstar? Is that where you start?
Brinstar's the top right of the map.
Is it?
I don't know. I'm just looking at a map.
Okay,
I'm with
doing
like
this.
all those like tubes where you're like you curl up into a ball and you go through all those tubes. That's Brinstar.
Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to remember the names. It's been a long time since I looked at a Metroid map.
I mean, yeah, none of these names are in the game. You just like have to get them from the manual.
I mean, I read the manual a lot, so.
All right.
There's like No Fair, Brinstar. I think was Chozodia. Was that like retconned?
I don't know. Chozodia?
Yeah, something like that because of the Chozo statues.
Chozodia? That sounds like a fake thing.
Maybe that's Zero Mission.
That's Zero Mission, yes.
Okay. I'm trying to remember. And that one has a map. Anyways, we'll cut all this. No one gives a shit. Anyways, what's now we differ. Here's the part where we have to defend our choices because we no longer agree. What's your first choice?
Oh, there are going to be some deep cuts now, Johnny.
Oh, no, there is not.
So Super Mario Brothers 3 somehow didn't make your top 10 list of NES games to own?
Yep.
What?
And this is not my top 10 list of games to own. I already said that. I said if someone came to me and said, what game should I go buy? And I wanted to have for me...
You wouldn't tell them to buy Mario 3?
No, because I already put a Mario on there. It is, again, it's not my favorites, because if it was my favorites, I cut a bunch of stuff, and I'm just like, where's your Zelda and your Zelda 2? Okay? You gotta have Metroid. I want to see all the Castlevanias on here. Okay? Like, that. Super Mario doesn't even make the cut if I start doing it like that. So what I wanted was to have a diversity of games that kind of represent the console and you can see, like if someone came in, they'd be like, find a game that they identify with. If you're not a Ninja Gaiden guy, I'm not putting all 3 Ninja Gaidens on there.
So I also considered this. I considered the fact that there's already a Super Mario Brothers on my list. I considered the fact that I'm into how exciting and collectible a game is, so things like rarity come into play, and like Super Mario Bros. 3, even if you get the rarest version of Super Mario Bros. 3, is not an exciting or rare game. And I like historical significance, and in terms of games I could pick on NES, Super Mario Bros. 3, it's a historically significant game, but in terms of like gameplay systems, it is not as historically significant as other things I could have picked. And still, out of all those things, it still makes my list of top 10, Johnny, because it's Mario 3.
Yeah, so the reason it doesn't for me, and I agree with you, you should buy this. Like, I'm not even saying you shouldn't, but given the premise I gave myself of trying to diverse, I don't have another black box game on here. So I can't cut Mario Brothers for Mario 3 because the black box games are so iconic. It represents the whole genre of all the black box games. I can't cut that in favor of Super Mario 3, and I didn't want to put another Mario on it. It was a hard cut. You got to kill your darlings, though.
All right. Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of good NES games. Anyway, I think everybody knows that the Mario you want is the Left Bros variant, where the Bros in Super Mario Brothers is on the left side of the box, not the right side of the box. And I would budget $200 for this, Johnny, which, yes, is a crazy amount for Super Mario Brothers 3, but considering that, I'm saying things like, yeah, I think $500 will get you a Castlevania, and Mario 3 is one of the most popular NES games. And how crazy things like Left Bros have been. I'm surprised that to get a near mint, really good Left Bros is still like you can budget $200 and get that. And if you just want a copy, like you can get one for, $50 to $70 for a nice copy of Mario 3, obviously.
Yep.
Also, date code on the top of the flap. You want 91208 is the earliest Mario 3 date code for Left Bros. There's 3 different date codes for Left Bros. Make sure you get the earliest one if you're a crazy person. Shout out to Rob Mahara, who might listen to the show. I bought mine from him.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
It's a good one. Yeah, I'm not going to fight you. I feel like, especially on the Nintendo, and maybe less so as we go into the future, but Mega Man was such a big deal that, and Mega Man 1, I think, was a hard pill to swallow, but Mega Man 2 figured out the secret sauce, hard enough, but also fun enough and accessible enough to kids of the time. So Mega Man 2 makes my list. My only criteria here is, you don't have to worry about boxes, but try to find one with the sticker in there, because there's a little Mega Man sticker. It's a red with the sled. Or no, he's just shooting in that one, right? He's just shooting. Little red Mega Man.
Well, there's 2 different stickers.
Is there the one with the sled and one where he's shooting?
You could ask Joe, but I mean, I would think they both came with Mega Man 2. I think it was random which one you got, or maybe the other ones came with 2.
I think they came with, well, maybe they didn't, but yeah, there was, because they came with the Mega Man sticker came with not Mega Man games. It just came in random Capcom. Not random. There was a select few, like Dynasty of the Emperor is one that came with a sticker. So you can go look for that. Anyways, I just think you should have a Mega Man 2. I think it speaks for all the other Mega Mans. If you told me Mega Man 3 was the one you liked best, sure, I think you could swap that out. Yes, you could make an argument for Mega Man 1, especially if you're getting deep on the collectible side, but if someone's going to walk in and be like, sweet, you got Mega Man 2? Oh, I love Mega Man 2. Oh, quick boomerangs, those are the best. Yeah, okay, cool. You got it. Mega Man 2. Go spend $250 on it, which sounds crazy to me because Mega Man 2 was always the most common, you could find of all the Mega Mans. It was never the expensive one. And now it's here I am, be like, yeah, if you're going to buy, get a nice one, get a sticker, and spend $250 to make sure you get that sticker.
Yeah, so I would, I would do the same thing, except I would probably look for one without the sticker. There's also a Captain Commando coupon that comes with it, that comes in a whole bunch of different Capcom games. I would probably just get the nice copy of Mega Man 2 that I want, and then look for games like Mickey Mouse Capade and Strider and Willow and Codename Viper, and try to get the sticker and the coupon out of those and just piece my Mega Man together. Because once you find a Mega Man 2, specifically Mega Man 2 with the sticker, there's going to be a big pool of buyers that are just going to pay whatever for the 100% complete in box Mega Man 2. So that is definitely going to be a better game to piece together, considering how many of these inserts come in other Capcom games.
Yeah, I agree with you, and you are correct there. Yeah, I recant what I said. Do what Tyler said.
Okay. Also, fun fact, with that Captain Commando coupon, there's a bunch of variants with different expiration dates. So have fun finding the earliest expiration date, because I think there's more than even 2.
And I think I said Dynasty of the Emperor. Did I say Dynasty? It's Destiny of the Emperor.
You know what? No one noticed. It's fine.
Okay.
So
all right.
All right. Johnny, I got a. You might not expect it, but Ninja Gaiden is on my list.
Whoa!
This
what?
is not only a personal pick. I think everyone needs a copy of Ninja Gaiden.
Why not Ninja Gaiden 3? Isn't that your favorite one?
It absolutely is. That might be my next choice. Do you want? I'll just say, guess what? My next 2 games, Johnny, it's Ninja Gaiden and Ninja Gaiden.
You might as well just talk about them in one breath.
Okay. So Ninja Gaiden, I mean, there's nothing I need to say about it. It's one of the best action platform games of all time. One of the classic NES games of all time. I will say not only that, but because prices have risen so much, a decent, nice copy of Ninja Gaiden is $125. So this game that used to be dog shit trash that everyone would just have sitting sideways on their shelf, just having a nice complete in box Ninja Gaiden is a cool thing now, because it's kind of an expensive game to have complete in box. So definitely makes my list for things to collect. I believe all the Tecmo, not all the Tecmo, but a lot of the Tecmo games from this era came with this stupid little address insert, Johnny. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, yeah, I do.
So Ninja Gaiden, it comes with this little address label. Like it had like a return card for like a watch, or there's some kind of insert that's related to a watch. You get to like buy a bunch of Tecmo games and you get a watch. And for some reason, there's this tiny slip of paper that you were supposed to write your address on and then affix to the card. And that is like the most common missing insert in these Tecmo games. And I bet most copies that actually have it don't have a big enough premium. So that is just an insert that I would personally look for. And you said you got the earliest date code Ninja Gaiden, Johnny?
I think so.
What's the earliest date code? Because I bet I have looked into that more than most people have.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to tell you. This is, and I don't know what it is in front of me, but if you look through our old pictures, you told me the date, and then I went and looked at my box and said, yeah, I have that one. So unless you've revised that since you were talking about it 2 years ago, yeah, that's the information I'm operating on.
I had this grand plan to buy every Ninja Gaiden date code, and right after I had that grand plan, Ninja Gaiden became like a $75 game, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe I don't need to own 12 different copies of Ninja Gaiden that have a tiny, tiny, minuscule difference that I can't even see from the outside. Yeah, the earliest date code I know of is 90130, and if anyone has one earlier than that, I guess you're super cool, and maybe sell me that. Because I don't even have the earliest date code. Ninja Gaiden's too expensive now.
Here, I'll tell you the date code. Hold on.
Okay. While Johnny's looking that up, I guess if anyone doesn't know, the date codes we're talking about are printed on the box flaps. So you open up an NES box, and later released games. This isn't on all the games, but later released games will have a 5-digit code. It's the last number of the year, followed by the month, followed by the day. So 9 is 1989, and then 0130 is January 30th.
Mine doesn't have a date code on it.
So you don't have it. So maybe there's probably copies that just don't have date codes then. Because I think 1989 is around when date codes first started to appear.
This one does not have a date code.
All right. So maybe you've got the early one without the date code, right? Because the same thing with Super Mario Brothers 2. The copy without the date code is the earliest, and then there's a copy with the date code that's later. You got to make sure you got the good one, right, Johnny?
That's correct. Oh, hold on. Let me check my other copy of Ninja Gaiden. All right, sorry about that. All right, here I'm back. We've got Ninja Gaiden. Let's see. Let's check the date code on my other copy. Nope, no date code on this one either. No, that's not true. No, I'm just kidding. There's a date code. Let me see. I forgot.
I'm just surprised because I know there's a lot of variants of Ninja Gaiden. Like, I thought I was going to buy like 4 copies.
90317?
Yeah, no, that's not early. But your one without a date code would be the earliest, so.
No, I'm sorry. No, it does have a date code. I just couldn't see it because it's so fucking black.
It's really...
yeah, 90130.
Yeah, that's the earliest one. You're the coolest guy, Johnny. You win. I don't have that. I'm looking to catch someone slipping. I need to go to a show. I'm going to go to like Portland because Portland's going to be the first game show I've been to in 3 years. I'm going to be a crazy person. I don't want to touch people's boxes because, Johnny, you shouldn't touch people's stuff. But I'm going to be like, yeah, can you open that Ninja Gaiden? Can we, I just want to look at the flap. I want to make sure both flaps are there.
Can I, hold on. I need to turn on my flashlight so I can see this obscure black number printed on this black box. Yeah. Like, just so you guys know, if you look at it and think you don't have a date code, don't feel bad. Just turn on your flashlight and look because it's like graphite colored text on a black box.
Yep. And
small. And I'm old. So there we go. Anyways, those are your 2 Ninja Gaidens. What are you paying for them?
I put $125 as my budget for Ninja Gaiden. And I think, yeah, because you're going to want one with all the inserts. It's freaking Ninja Gaiden. So yeah, just go get a $125 copy.
And what about part 3?
Yeah, and then Ninja Gaiden 3, I guess if anyone is somehow new to this show, I guess this could be, people are like, oh, top 10 NES, that'll be an easy episode to listen to. Yeah, Ninja Gaiden 3 is my favorite NES game that is not Super Mario Brothers 3. But also, even beyond that, I think you could say it is one of the most technically advanced NES games. The graphics in Ninja Gaiden 3 are amazing. And it's a rare and exciting game. It's not in that upper echelon tier, but it's in that uncommon tier of NES games that people think are cool. It's in that R7 range, as you might say, Johnny.
Oh. R7s, huh?
Yeah, I went looking for like complete in box sales to get an idea on the price. There is one complete in box that's sold on eBay that I found. It was $500, but it had like shrink wrap and it was pretty nice. And there was only like a couple other ones listed on eBay, and they're like in the $400 range. So that's probably what I'd budget. But yeah, I guess Ninja Gaiden 3 seems genuinely kind of uncommon.
Pretty good.
Genuinely kind of uncommon. Certified
Nice.
kind of uncommon seal of
Yeah,
approval.
certified. Yeah. Get that on your water box. Can you want to hit him with the subtitle so everybody knows what that is?
The Ancient Ship of Doom.
That's right.
Yeah.
I was hoping you would just like not care enough about it to not know the subtitle.
Why would I? People care about Ninja Gaiden 3. It's so important. It got ported to the Atari Lynx.
Oh my
That's how
God.
much people were clamoring for this game. They're like, I love Ninja Gaiden 3 so much. I got to play it on the go.
Either that or Tecmo was just a whore and they're just like, let's put our games everywhere.
And it's on the Super Nintendo. No one talks about it.
Yeah, looking at you, Rygar. Anyways, my next game, and you've stopped me if you've heard of this one, Kid Icarus.
I think that is by far the worst choice out of any of our two lists, any game.
I like, and this might be a little bit of my nostalgia bleeding through, and I'm going to disagree with you because I'm looking at one of your games and I'm just like, nope, that's not even a thing. So just get out of here with your fake bullshit. Kid Icarus, I think, is a great game. I enjoyed it a lot. It was like, it was in Captain N, like it made it into the cartoon, so it captured a lot. It was, the silver box on the game, eggplant wizards, everything about that game I just enjoyed. I also was like a fiend for Greek mythology at the time, so like Kid Icarus was doing everything for me. So I still just think back to it fondly, and it's got a cool silver box, and what can I say about Kid Icarus? It's got a hang tab for all of you hardcore collectors if you want one. Go spend 150 to 225 on it. Again, no white ovals, please. Hang tab, sure. No white ovals.
All right, so I can get you all of that. I can't get you the box. So the box is cool because it's silver and has a hang tab, which is kind of the only cool thing about Kid Icarus to me.
I mean, also, like, it was important enough that it made it into the cartoon that represented like a whole era of Nintendo. People know who Pit is.
All right. It's got the Nintendo Cloud. A lot of things on NES have the Nintendo Cloud, but if you want a nostalgic game that I know you played from your childhood that has platforming elements and Greek mythology, let me tell you about Battle of Olympus, Johnny.
Oh, I love
better
Battle
choice
of Olympus.
For the slot.
No, Battle of Olympus is not as important as Kid Icarus.
Oh, absolutely not. But that game is super cool.
Yeah, Battle of Olympus is a cool game. Like, also, it's not a Zelda 2 clone, but in fact, I think, did we identify that it came out? Like, it would have been in development at, like, the same time. Or very nearly. Like, Battle of Olympus is awesome. Go check out Battle of Olympus if you haven't played it. What a cool, fun game that is. A little bit hard, but yeah, it's so good. I love Zelda 2, and it's not on my list. Like, I really passionately love Zelda 2. And I think that game gets slammed unnecessarily, and people don't realize how important Zelda 2 is. And Battle of Olympus gets you some more of that, and like cool Greek mythology. So cool. Like, if you ask me which game I would rather play, I would probably rather play Battle of Olympus. But I do have a super soft spot for Kid Icarus. Like, spoiler, Bubble Bobble didn't make my list, and I love Bubble Bobble a lot. And I thought about whether I could justify putting it on this list.
Yeah, I mean, Zelda 2 didn't make my list just because I figured that it's too similar to Zelda. And then looking at my list, it's like 9 action platformers and Zelda. Yeah. So I don't exactly have variety in my list.
I think I've got some like okay variety going on. Kinda.
Sure. Yeah, you definitely do. I don't. I have clear preference towards platform games, Johnny.
All right. Let's fight on this one because I know you want to fight me on it. Star Tropics, baby. Star Tropics. And I know that's like I feel like this is my most questionable one, but it's got a couple things going.
You feel like it is?
Well, Nintendo promoted the hell out of it. It came with the sweet letter, so it was like a cool insert that you were getting. You're like, oh my God, it comes with this cool letter. And it's a North American exclusive, right? Like, or did it come out in Europe? It was supposed to be a North American exclusive. Yeah, but like a Nintendo game that didn't come out in Japan, it's that like came out here first. Like, just like when it came out, it was like such a cool idea. And I remember I was at this kid's house who I don't remember the kid's name, but I remember his parents did not like me. And I always felt uncomfortable at his house, but like he had Star Tropics. And I remember just being like, up pretty late playing that after like he had gone to bed. I was just like, I'm gonna beat this Star Tropics game. And like, what a cool experience that was. So I have a soft spot, but I think Star Tropics is objectively cool, and I like the box. I think the sequel is not good, but like, the letter and everything, the packaging, I just think it hooks you, and that's a cool thing you can put on your shelf and then talk about.
All right, I agree. I think that in later years, as I've gravitated more towards like finding interesting first things about games or just like something that makes a game unique, I think the fact that it's a Nintendo game that was North American exclusive is extremely unique. I don't even know how many Nintendo games didn't come out in Japan. I'm sure there are others, but there can't be a lot of them. And then of course it has the letter, which is super cool. We were just looking at prices, and you put a budget of $100, and I'm sure that's complete in box, super nice with the letter.
Yep.
There's a sealed copy. It had like some corner pokes, but like no major tears or anything. Like it maybe wasn't quote unquote gradable, but it was like a pretty nice copy of Star Tropics for $125. The same price as a complete in box Ninja Gaiden.
So wait, is there a sealed one out there for $125? That was nice. I didn't see that one. The cheapest sealed one I saw was $300.
No, this was in solds. This was an auction.
Oh yeah, no, in the solds, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I saw the one in solds, and like, if you could get that, like, fine. But I just make sure, like, one of the coolest things about Star Tropics is the letter, so go get the letter. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and you know what? It was meant to be dunked in water. Don't be a baby. Dunk that in water.
So cool.
I've
so
dunked
cool.
my letter in water. It's worth it.
It is worth it.
Also, it's a cheap game, so you know what?
Yeah.
You don't have to feel bad.
That's why. I mean, also all the dunking in water and the ruining of the letters is probably why that letter is kind of uncommon. Make sure you get the letter.
Is it uncommon?
Kinda. I mean, most copies do not have the letter, and by most I mean like 95%.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, because I remember when I didn't have the
except
letter,
for the large swath of sealed ones.
Sure. Yeah, it is a famously very common sealed NES game. But yeah, when I didn't have the letter, I just went out and I bought an entire another copy. I'm like, well, because the letter was probably like $15 and I could probably buy someone didn't realize that their copy was 100% complete and I got it for like $25. All right, Johnny, let me tell you, let me get into my last two, my hot takes, maybe you might say.
Yeah, there's a take, all right.
Battle Kid 2 limited edition.
No. No.
I'm definitely
just download the ROM. It doesn't even matter.
You can't. Battle Kid 2 is not free. It is a commercial video game.
Oh, fine. Go spend the $5 on the ROM. Get out of here.
I'm not one of these super players who is like involved with the NES homebrew development scene and is like playing every little demo that comes out. But I will say I have played a lot of NES homebrew, definitely more NES homebrew than the average Nintendo fan.
100%.
Battle Kid 2 is the best NES homebrew. I haven't played anything that even comes close to it. It is super good. It was made by literally one dude, and it has a limited edition that is limited to, I think, 33 copies. This was a thing in the 2000s, and it even kind of continues now. When people put out a homebrew, they'll make like a ridiculously limited edition. And you see this on Kickstarters now. They'll have like the ultra tier. We're only going to make 3 of these. Then we're only going to, if you spend $750, we're going to make 10 of these. And if you spend $250, we're going to make 100 of those. And like the artificial rarity with homebrews is out of control. But because I think Battle Kid 2 is the best NES homebrew that has ever been made, and I think Battle Kid is iconic as a homebrew franchise, like maybe Battle Kid is not an iconic NES game, but when you think of homebrew, Battle Kid is in that conversation.
I want to. No one's gonna walk into your room like your average person.
Absolutely not.
They're gonna look. They're gonna be like, oh Mario, oh Zelda, oh Ninja Gaiden. I remember Metroid. What is Battle Kid 2? What the hell is this? Of your 10 games?
Oh, is this a limited run games release?
Yeah, is this one of those? Is this one of those like short print companies? Like, get out of here! Yuck, Tyler. Yuck.
I think that the more interesting thing to get would be like Garage Cart, which is quote unquote the first commercially sold NES homebrew. which is
Also, who cares?
it's a dubious claim because like in Southeast Asia, like they never stopped cranking out physical 8-bit games. So to say that like, Garage Kart is the first NES homebrew when NES development never really stopped in other parts of the world, I don't know. The thing with Garage Kart is I think there's 3 games on Garage Kart, and off the top of my head, I can't even name one of them. So Garage Kart is super cool, very expensive, very collectible game. There's one on eBay for like 30 grand. No one's going to pay that, but Garage Kart, very expensive. I think there's also somewhere like 30 copies of Garage Kart that
Stop
exist.
talking about Garage Kart.
Why stop talking about Garage Kart?
Because your argument for keeping Battle Kid on is so weak that you had to start talking about Garage Kart.
I'm explaining why I'm putting because Battle Kid. What? Jesus. Anyway, you should. I was thinking about like Black Box Challenge. Can you imagine me not having like Black Box games and then putting Black Box Challenge on? I think Black Box Challenge is kind of cool. No, I'm not going to put Black Box Challenge on my list. Anyway, Johnny, Battle Kid 2, the limited edition. If somebody has a Battle Kid 2 limited edition, please sell it to me. I'm probably going to pay more than most people because who wants that? Other crazy people who are into homebrew that are going to pay tons of money for it. Anyway, Johnny, that's my worst pick in terms of other people relating to it.
100%.
What a great game.
All right. What else you got?
My last game is Gimmick, Johnny. This definitely, you know what? I think 6 months ago, this would not have made the list. So
okay,
I was corrected by 8-Bit Supremacy. I trashed the Scandinavian release of Gimmick or Mr. Gimmick. I said that it ran in slow motion. Mr. Gimmick actually runs at full speed, but the music is in slow motion, which sucks, but I could put up with that more than I would be able to put up with the game being in slow motion. So, Mr. Gimmick is a super late release. So it was released on Famicom as Gimmick, which is the version I would really want and the version I own. But we're only talking about NES, so I have to get Mr. Gimmick, which was a rare Scandinavian released NES game. And it's just a super good platformer. It's got amazing graphics. It's got like physics for a star that you throw around. It's got secrets. It's one of the most technically advanced NES games, kind of similar to Ninja Gaiden 3 in that sense. And it's an action platformer, which guess what? It's my favorite genre, Johnny. But it also has the super clout factor of being this super rare and desirable game. Complete in box, the last one in like pretty wrecked shape on eBay went for $1,200, which like even being kind of wrecked, I don't think is like super bad.
No, that's a good price.
Other copies for like a good complete in box though, I've seen like $3,000 or $4,000.
Yeah, it's one of those games that I've looked at and $1,200 I might have paid. I would have like had to sit there and think about it.
Yeah.
Because that game is expensive.
It sure is.
Expensive. Or you could go find that super collectible Time Walk game version. People still hot and bothered for Time Walk game stuff.
There's people who probably like want it to be a thing. Like, no, you guys don't remember. Guys, they make such good fake games. You just don't.
Yeah, their boxes are so thick.
They only made so many of them. I don't understand also, collectible fake games.
Yeah, Gimmick Sunsoft game. And you know how I feel about Sunsoft.
That they secretly have the best music on NES.
Sunsoft is like just completely underrated publisher on Nintendo. Still criminally underrated. Anyways. I find Gimmick to be a weird choice to be on here. Not a wrong choice, just a weird choice. But all right, I'll
really?
allow it.
Is that weird? I think
no. I look. I'm being very North American centric. That's why I'm saying it's weird.
Okay.
That's all. Like, and we're coming from different places. I don't think it's wrong. Like, I don't. Gimmick's a fine choice. I just thought it was. It threw me a little bit when you put Gimmick on there. That's all.
All right. It should be Mr. Gimmick because
Mr. Gimmick.
As much as I wish I could pick Famicom games, I can't.
Yeah, it's a whole other episode that I will know nothing about.
Yeah,
That's not true. I'll know plenty. But
even I know a bunch of Famicom things, but I have definitely not played as much into the Famicom library as I have into NES. So I feel like my opinion, even as a Famicom fan, I would not be a great resource for telling you like these are the games that you must have because I haven't played a ton of Famicom games, Johnny. What a shock.
No, wow, weird. Why? Because you're an American kid?
There's like a
Is that
whole
what happened?
genre on Famicom of like text adventure police dramas. And it's like, guess what? I haven't played any of those, Johnny.
Why not?
I don't know.
Oh,
I bet a bunch of them are translated though. I'm just being a bitch
Probably.
that I haven't played them.
yeah, you just toughen up. Don't be a baby. Anyways, my last two. Here's one you're not going to fight me on. Final Fantasy. I look, the argument between Final Fantasy and Dragon Warrior, and yes, Dragon Warrior, because we're talking about the NES, and Dragon Warrior is a much, like, to me is the name. Like, I'm not, like, I can't do Dragon Quest. Anyways, but Final Fantasy, get this game, get it nice. Okay, there's a few different versions I would accept here. But make sure you have your map and your two maps, and you've got the nice manual. Like, make sure the manual is thick. Like, this game is packed with stuff. So make sure that manual looks tidy. Make sure your maps aren't like, if someone laminated, that's cool to hang on your wall, but like they're not going to fit in your box. So don't do that. But you gotta, those maps tear really easily. So especially after being folded for so long. So try and make sure your maps are pretty good. Make sure that box is clean. It's a black box, so you can get it like messed up. Don't get a Canadian one with like all the Mattel extra stuff, because it's like a very simplistic box. It's, the image is clean and in the center. Don't mess it up with a bunch of extra stuff. Get the US version. I do love the red band version of Final Fantasy. If I was getting multiple Final Fantasies, I would get the red band Canadian version, but just get this one, shell out for it, pay $250, $300, and make sure you just have a nice, clean copy, or spend that money, around that much money, piecing together like the nicest box you can find, and then getting really nice inserts.
Okay, I just want to go back. You said there are multiple versions of Final Fantasy, because I don't think I know any variants of Final Fantasy.
Oh, just like there's just the Canadian ones, right? Like,
okay.
There's a Canadian red band, and then there's like the double seal, the double Nintendo seal, the Mattel, and then it just clutters up the box and it looks awful.
Okay, just to be clear, when you say red band, you mean that the top of the box has a small red bar that says Nintendo Entertainment System at the box that you see in some later release games. So
I believe it goes around the whole box.
Okay.
Front, back, and sides. Yep. And that's it looks cool. I like those variants.
Yep. And I think Final Fantasy is definitely a good choice. I'm like going after all like, what's the most important game? I think Dragon Quest might be, or Dragon Warrior for the NES version might be the more important game to the genre. But
probably.
I think Final Fantasy is such a better game than Dragon Quest 1 that I would probably pick Final Fantasy for my collection too.
I mean, and I love Final Fantasy. And I love Dragon Warrior. I love both of them. So when I had to come down to it, it was hard, especially the Dragon Warrior. Like, get the one that was in the Nintendo Power. Like, that's like pretty cool to say. Like, it's cool as a collector to be like, I got the one that isn't in the Nintendo Power. But like, if you're just thinking about like, oh my God, like from a historical perspective, to sell their magazine and this game to get Americans to embrace RPGs, they just gave it to you if you got the subscription. How cool is that?
That is pretty cool. I think the dirt commonness of Dragon Warrior tracks down the collectible interest for me a little bit, and how jam-packed Final Fantasy is with just how big the manual is, and it comes with a map that makes it more interesting.
Dragon Warrior is more packed. Like, there's what the Nintendo Power version came with like some extra stuff. So, and then there was like in a Nintendo Power, there's like inserts. You can like your Dragon Warrior is spilling out of that box. You're not gonna. Like, once you open it, just forget it. Just buy a sealed Dragon Warrior and then never open it.
Just buy a sealed Dragon Warrior, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, Dragon Warrior sealed is also common. I bet it's cheaper than maybe Mr. Gimmick. What are some other expensive games we had? Maybe like Castlevania even might be cheaper to get a sealed Dragon.
I think it's going to be one of the cheapest sealed games on this list. Like, Star Tropics and that are probably the cheapest games on this list to buy sealed.
All right, what's your last game then, Johnny?
This one you might fight me on, and I don't know. I picked Metal Gear. Okay,
Metal Gear,
just Metal Gear, and not because I think it's the best game, but again, coming from a point of like, if someone's going to come in, Metal Gear is such a popular series, and I have a very controversial. I don't really like Metal Gears after Gear Solid. I don't like. Everyone's like, "Oh man, God, Metal Gear 3 and 4 and 5, this is the best games ever," and I'm just like, I don't like them. It's too much movie watching for me. I'm not interested, and I like games to be a movie. Like I love Uncharted. That's not normally a criticism. I just whatever is going on in Metal Gear just stopped grabbing me, and I love Snake's Revenge. Have I told you this? I'm sure I've said it on the podcast, but I played Snake's Revenge before Metal Gear.
Yeah.
Because I thought, like, I didn't know they were. Then when I found out, that blew my mind, and then I had to go get Metal Gear. Anyways, I just think Metal Gear is a very important title to gaming, despite my feelings on it. And I think it would be cool for someone to come back, because they're going to think, oh, yeah, like their first, like we kind of made a joke about this, but the first version of Metal Gear for most people is Metal Gear Solid. Yes, it is a port of an MSX title, but I think, in America, this is the first instance you could. So I think if everyone's thinking, oh man, this didn't really start till the PlayStation, and then all of a sudden you can point to it on a Nintendo, I just think that is like a cool, interesting bit of history that you can point at and show people. And yeah, Metal Gear. There you go. That's why I picked it.
I don't hate Metal Gear. The reason it's not on my list is I don't think there's any one aspect of it that I could say is like my favorite reason to put it on a list. So yes, it is the first Metal Gear game, which is a really important series, but it's not Metal Gear for the MSX, which is the Hideo Kojima developed version of it. And this is like an un-Kojima sanctioned version of Metal Gear. I think it's a fine game. I don't think it's as good a game as a Final Fantasy or Ninja Gaiden.
No,
in terms
not
of
at
the
all.
stealth genre, I think Metal Gear is important, but it is definitely not. I actually read, even while doing research for this episode, I found some blog post that was like, Metal Gear, the first stealth game. And it is absolutely not. It is an important stealth game, definitely, but it's not the start of the genre. If any one of those aspects was like, it's the thing for either gameplay, or it's the thing to own for the first Metal Gear, or it's the thing to own for the stealth genre, then I could go with it, but not making the top 10 for me personally. There's me shitting all over Metal Gear for you. More than somehow Star Tropics. I don't think I shat on Star Tropics enough.
Yeah, you probably should have done more of that. Yeah, just so you know, you can get a factory sealed 7.0 Dragon Warrior for $800. So I see some sealed ones for like $399 or best offer. I'm not looking at sold. It's $500. So yeah, there are sealed ones on eBay available. You could totally get a sealed Dragon Warrior. Back to the Dragon Warrior thing. The reason I didn't pick that, I also like Dragon Warrior 4 a lot better. That's my favorite Dragon Warrior. So
uncommon opinion there, Johnny.
Yeah,
I haven't played Dragon Warrior 4, but I know it's much more complex than Dragon Warrior.
Well, yeah. I mean, everything. Dragon Warrior is complicated in the sense that you have to like stand in front of a door and tell it open, which is obnoxious because what else do you want to do? And Dragon Warrior. Yes, it's a very rudimentary game, but that I don't hold that against it. But I'm just, in the essence of the series, I like Dragon Warrior 4. And all of the first four are amazing, so I love them a lot. But if I'm picking a favorite, and I was trying to put on my list, and I wouldn't want to put a 4 before the original, so that also helped my choice with Final Fantasy. But back to Metal Gear. Metal Gear is a solid game, so that's why I put it on there. See what I did there?
I love the idea that if people are going back to the first Metal Gear game, they just stop at Metal Gear Solid and they're like, fuck this 2D shit, what the fuck is this?
I think most people don't acknowledge, like, you put Snake's Revenge on there and they're going to be like, what the fuck is this? Like, I think if you showed them the MSX version, they'd be like, oh, a weird Japanese Metal Gear. Okay, that makes sense. And then you show them Metal Gear 2 over there, which is different, and that would melt their mind. They'd be like, wow, that's weird, but that's so Japanese, so that makes sense to me. Yeah, it clearly didn't make it to the US until it got to that PlayStation, right? With Metal Gear Solid, and then you're like, no, actually, on your NES, you can play Snake's Revenge and Metal Gear. And they'll just be like, what are you talking about? That's not Metal Gear. And you're like, no, it is. Look, here's Snake and Big Boss Man, and here's an actual Metal Gear. You can see it here. And they'd just be like, no. They might throw up.
the thing is, I agree with you, but it's just so funny that it's not even. There are games that like the early iterations of it are like, okay, this is kind of a different thing, and then it turned into the real franchise. Like even if you look at like Sonic, 2D Sonic is one thing, 3D Sonic is a completely different thing.
Yeah, but it didn't become Sonic till Sonic Shadow. I mean, when he got that gun, right?
But
that's
with Metal Gear, it's like the first game is called Metal Gear. There's Metal Gears in Metal Gear, and like on NES there's Snake's Revenge, and the like might as well not even be a fucking Metal Gear game. And how no one gives a shit about Snake's Revenge.
my favorite Metal Gear game, Snake's Revenge.
All right. Buy Metal Gear, $75 to $100.
You know, it's not so expensive. I weirdly love sequels like more than the originals. I don't know why. Like I have sequelitis, I guess. Like I love Castlevania 2. I like the weird sequels. I love them. Castlevania, Mario 2, Snake's Revenge. You know me, Mega Man 2. I love all the twos.
I think NES would be a lot more boring if the sequels didn't iterate as much as they did.
I think so too, because if you look at something like Mario the Lost Levels, people are not that interested in it.
I know it's another good one, Battle Kid 2. Huge improvement over Battle Kid. A lot of the same, but you know.
Yeah, hey, Battle Kid 2. I also like more than the original Battle Kid. There we go.
It's because it has an easy mode.
Yeah. 1943 better than 1942.
Yes, I also agree, but why? What are you talking about? This is another Johnny. Are we done?
Yeah, we're done. That's the whole list.
Yeah, buy those NES games. They're really good.
Do you want to tell them the other stuff we considered and like really, like if we were expanding it out to 15 games, like all these games would have been on my list?
Yeah, I mean, I just games that didn't make the cut that we did talk about before the episode. Dragon Warrior, which I think we talked about enough. Tetris, I think
super important. Yeah,
obviously Tetris is super important. I think,
but more important on Game Boy.
Yeah, it's more important on Game Boy. The thing is, the NES version is the version that people compete in, and people are still competing in Tetris today.
True.
So I think the lasting version of Tetris to own is the NES version, which is why it would be high up on my list of games to own. And even as the guy who's like, oh, you could go get like a PC Tetris. The original version of Tetris is for like a Russian microcomputer, and it's burned onto a loose floppy disk that's forgotten in the USSR somewhere. So you can't own the first version of Tetris, and I think the most important is Game Boy, followed by NES.
I agree.
Castlevania 3 we talked about. I think it's basically as good as Castlevania. It's just not as collectible. Ghosts and Goblins you brought up.
Yeah, I do love a Ghosts and Goblins.
I mean, it's got the horror factor. It's an early NES game. It's a super good game.
It's also fantasy a little bit. Yeah, it's hard. It just punishes you. It punishes you in a way where people talk about Nintendo games were hard, and then you're just like, oh yeah, try some Ghosts and Goblins. Also, what a great title.
It's a super good title. Yeah, and it also, if you got like a Ghosts and Goblins on display, if that's like one of your games that you have like either in like a display case or facing outward, you just look like a badass. You're like, oh yeah, I play Ghosts and Goblins. I'm not playing this Ninja Gaiden shit. Anyone could beat Ninja Gaiden.
You can get a hang tab for it as well. There you go.
More collector's clout there. Yeah, nice. Also, Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Did we even bring that up?
No, we didn't. Like, and that was one like I actively had to like pull off. Like, it definitely could have made the list. Probably should have over maybe my Star Tropics, or maybe even Metal Gear. Like all these games, like you could switch it out. I wouldn't argue at all if someone's like, "You're an insane person. Punch Out is my third favorite NES game ever." Yeah, it's great. I love me some Punch Out. So. You're not going to find a fight with me.
I might like Punch Out more than the first Zelda. That's how much I like Punch Out.
Wow, really?
Still didn't make my list.
Yeah, that's crazy.
See, also, if it was like one of my favorite games ever, I would have fucking beat it and stopped being such a wimp. Lose.
I can't believe you have not beat Punch Out. You're good at video games. It's not that hard.
I'm good at video games. Still can't beat Punch Out because it's not a skill thing. It's a reaction thing. It's fucking difficult. I'm
not that good at video games. I used to be really good at video games, and now I am not good at video games, and I still beat Punch Out within the last 5 years.
I know I'm just good at pattern memorization and things like that. If you put I could probably like I don't play the Dark Souls games, but like if I just like sit and bash my head at something and have to memorize shit, I am all about that, Johnny. So I'd probably love all the Dark Souls games.
But that's
I like
all
Demon
Punch Out is. They're just pattern recognition.
Yeah, that's what the first 95% of the game is, and then you get to Tyson and you can't like pre-react to anything or you lose. And my thing is I memorize stuff so I don't have to react. I just know that like, oh, he's about to use his charge attack. Time for me to dodge to the left. And I could do that. But with Tyson, you don't have time to like mentally prepare that stuff in your mind. And then you press left too early and you dodge into his thing and he knocks you out. I'll beat it. It's on my like to-do list. I'm not playing anything right now. I'll tell you what I'm playing in probably 5 minutes here. But like I don't have anything serious going on this summer. So maybe I'll get back on the Punch-Out grind.
All right, let's do it. And then you got to go beat Super Punch-Out. And then you need to beat Punch-Out featuring Mr. Dream.
I mean, maybe I could do that because once I can beat Tyson, like I should be able to theoretically do it every time or like almost every time, right? So that shouldn't be too bad. Yeah,
I wonder if people consider Tyson harder than Mr. Dream. I wonder if there's like any of these like weird like edge, bleeding edge people. About? Well, like I wonder if there's like these bleeding edge people after Tyson was eliminated from the Punch Out on NES. They're like, no, this is actually the better version of Punch Out. I wonder if there's any of those people.
There's literally no one. Right into the show if you think that Punch Out is better than Mike Tyson's Punch Out. You know what? I don't know, Johnny. I've never fought Mr. Dream. I don't even know if I've ever played just Punch Out. Because why would anyone play Punch Out when they could play Mike Tyson's Punch Out?
What about
I don't know the
classics?
differences.
You can get the classics version of it as well.
God damn it. I'm thinking now I've never played Punch Out, just regular Punch Out. I don't even know what the title screen looks like. Because you see Mike, when you boot up Mike Tyson's Punch Out, there's like Mike Tyson
just sitting there in a square.
Like, is it Mr. Dream there? Like, I don't know what Punch Out looks like, Johnny.
You're gonna have to Google it.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's weird. All right. Okay.
What's the next part of the show?
The next part of the show is we answer a question from the people on our Patreon. Hey, if you want to answer a question or if you want to ask us questions and you want to hang out with cool people on our Discord, you could do so by joining our Patreon for as little as $2 or as much as $6. But $4 is the sweet spot because there you not only get access to our Discord, but you also get access to the bonus episodes and After Dark stuff we do. So you can find that at patreon.com/collectorsquest. Go there if you want to join. And all the recent people have just joined. Hey, thank you so much. We are so happy to have you. And I can't wait to see you on the Discord. Go on, Tyler.
Strange asks, I know it's been touched on before, but Sonic for the Sega Master System, is the UPC needed for a complete US Master System set?
Oh God, what a horrible question. That's gonna
Explain
really depend.
What the UPC is first.
So Sonic was just imported. The European version was imported over here. When it got here, it had to have a US UPC code on it. So they just put a sticker over the European ones. They didn't bother with the whole new printing. They just said, we're just going to put a sticker on these things. They're imports. They're just imports. They just put a sticker on them. And that makes it the US version, that sticker. But also, I know of people, one, those things can fall off because it's just an adhesive and they do just come off. Also, I know people who bought them here in America at a Toys R Us who did not have a sticker and still do not have a sticker on them. So I say no, because also who cares? Like, you have the title. Nothing other than that sticker changes it. And that sticker isn't like a special Sega sticker. It's literally just for commerce. So it can be purchased at a register here. So, come on. Come on, people.
I think for your personal collection, it doesn't matter. But also, I think if you're collecting just a US Master System set, which is like, 114 games, there's like nothing on the US Master System. I think UPC Sonic is one of like the pillars of that collection. Like I don't mean to diss Master System. I'm gonna diss Master System. There's not a lot.
You do all the time.
There's not a lot of exciting games on Master System. If you want to show off stuff in your Master System, you could be like, yeah, I've got Golden Axe Warrior, I've got Power Strike, and I've got a UPC Sonic. So personally, I would get the UPC one. I mean, sure, you can complete your collection
What about
without
Buster
it.
Douglas?
Like, Buster Douglas doesn't even excite me. I think Golden Axe Warrior is cooler than Buster Douglas.
Golden Axe Warrior is pretty good.
Buster Douglas it's one of these games, it's become like the de facto rarest game, but
Has been forever.
you can go on eBay at any point. You could buy a Buster Douglas. I don't even know. Like, can you get a UPC Strider or something? Like,
No,
those
are harder.
Yeah, there are probably things on Master System, even for just like random US releases, that are harder to get than Buster Douglas. I just think it's an overrated rarity. It might be a situation where like there's nothing on the Sega Master System that's like, you know, a Stadium Events magical chase thing, and people just took a game that's like pretty uncommon and they tried to make it that, but I don't think Buster Douglas is all fucking that.
Yeah, I mean, I also, because Buster Douglas has been known as the thing forever, like, I think that's another reason you can find it, because it was identified as the thing so early, and that's never changed.
Yeah, and I agree. The Gamer Collective asks why all the waifus, and linked to some bikini waifu game, and I'm just not going to talk about it. Sorry.
I don't know where that question even comes
Waifu Impact. From. It's supposedly Genshin Impact crossed with Fortnite. Anime people, I'm happy you guys have so many options these days for games to play. VG Collectaholic asks, what is your favorite TV series and movie that's either based on a video game property or is game related?
That's a hard one. Can I pre-say The Last of Us? Even though it's not out yet?
What's... Video game properties are like historically terrible, and you're going to like rate something before seeing it like, oh, this will probably be the best.
It's HBO, it's going to be great. I mean, what is it competing against?
How about things that you have seen? Let's work on that.
Captain first. N. No, the Game Master. I really enjoy that started out as video games and then went the other way. God, that's hard. Let's see.
Did it have to start out as a video game? Could I pick
Tron?
I guess because there's so many like licensed games.
Like I'm like, oh, Pirates are like you just get it's.
So I've gone on Letterboxd and I have found a video game list and I've sorted it by highest, and I think you are going to disagree with my choice.
Okay. I have not watched any of the new Halo series. Have you?
No.
Crossfire, does that count? Was that?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay, never mind. Go ahead. Cuphead.
Is that good? I watched like 5 minutes of it, and I'm like, this is not something that I need from Cuphead. I need a physical release of that Xbox 360 game, please. Or Xbox One, whatever.
I have my answer. You have yours?
I sure do.
Okay, what's yours?
The Super Mario Brothers movie.
You're wrong.
It is simultaneously so bad it's hilarious. Good and a legitimately good dark fantasy movie. I think it's great. I don't know.
I think it would be fine if it wasn't called Mario.
I think that makes it better. It's better that it's like this adaptation that is not what anyone else would come up with. It's like Guillermo del Toro's Super Mario Brothers. It's so strange.
That's, like if David Lynch did Super Mario Brothers, this is what happened.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I can... You can sway me with that argument, but I'm just going to say the Castlevania series on Netflix.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good, too. I wasn't really thinking about TV stuff. I mean, on a technical and storytelling level, yes, that is better than the Super Mario Brothers movie. But you know what? I bet in 20 years, I will forget about the Castlevania Netflix series, and I bet I never forget about the Super Mario Brothers movie.
That's true, but hey, have you heard of Skylanders Academy? It's on Netflix.
I absolutely have not heard of that.
Well,
is that...
that's real.
When did that come out? Is Skylanders still a thing?
I don't know when it came out. Why would I know that?
I don't, because you're talking about it.
Let me tell you some of the people who are in it. Have you ever heard of Catherine O'Hara?
I don't know actors, so
Catherine O'Hara is the mom from Home Alone. She's in Beetlejuice. She's Schitt's Creek. Okay, she's in everything. Have you heard of Norm Macdonald? Bobcat Goldthwait?
All right, so it's got some people in it.
Patrick Warburton and Billy West? Come on.
All right. It's got people. I mean, Skylanders is a huge franchise. Also, this was from 2016 to 2018. So, guys, no, don't worry. There's not an actively running Skylanders TV show.
The cast list is so impressive. I don't understand it.
And like, the kids who are watching that, do they even care that like, oh my God, Felicia Day's in this? Like, they're fucking 5 years old.
I don't. Yeah, like I think they went overboard hoping adults would go, and like, yeah. Anyways.
All right, last question is for you, Johnny. It's just Lord Hardstyle Z asks, why is Tyler?
That's a good question. To seriously answer this question, we would have to talk to his mom. The physical question of why is Tyler is because his mother and his father
That's all the time we have for questions today.
They lied together in a husbandly way.
Husbandly way.
Yeah. You know, Tyler's dad hugged his mother in a husbandly way. He did layeth upon her, and get gross and biblical. When you say it like kind of biblically, it gets a little grosser.
I think a large part about why I am can be traced back to me having all the Sega shit and my friends having all the Nintendo shit as a kid, and just, man, all the Nintendo shit was so much cooler. Like, a large part of my interests and pursuits as an adult are the things I was deprived of in my childhood that I saw all my other friends have.
Yeah,
so
which we can also blame. We can also blame his mom and dad for that.
Absolutely,
because they did that too. Yeah. Why? He just wanted a Game Boy, and he got a Game Gear.
Wanted a Game Boy. You know, I probably could have lived without the NES and Super Nintendo, which I absolutely understood they were better than Sega Genesis in every way. But if I just had the Game Boy, I would have had Mario, I would have had Kirby, I would have had Pokemon, which I had to wait till Game Boy Color till I played Pokemon. I didn't get any Nintendo. I don't even, like, I might have been less of a PC gamer if I had more Nintendo stuff growing up. Maybe just like I got bored of Sega because Sega doesn't have any like persistent games, and I wanted to play like computer RPGs and things like that because Sega wasn't giving me that, Johnny.
Can you imagine, Tyler, like your whole collector being may not exist if your parents just hadn't made that decision.
Right? Like, I might have either been like one of these 100% NES guys, because I know Nintendo people just like, there are people who are just like, I don't care about any video games except for NES. Or like, what would I be? Would I be one of these people who doesn't care about computer games and just pretends computers don't exist? Yeah, that's why it's Tyler. All right, good answer. Johnny, what are you buying? What are you playing? Let's move.
Remember, because his father hugged his mother in a husbandly way when he did layeth upon her and distribute his essence.
Are you done?
Yeah,
Jesus.
Yeah,
it's like a Stefan comment.
It is like a Stefan comment.
Inappropriate and out of place.
That's not true. It's not inappropriate. We asked, why is Tyler? And that is open to interpretation. I'm just saying.
Johnny, what are you buying to play?
Well, okay. Let me you can cut all of that. That's so stupid. It's so dumb. What am I buying? Tyler, I bought some games. I'd gone through a pretty big lull where I was like getting a couple games here and there. Huge shout out to Mr. CIB. Helped me out a bunch. Sent me a bunch of Game Boy Color games I'm starting to post because I hadn't even been posting on Instagram. So that's like really cool. I got some really fun titles there. I got Toki Tori and weirdly, I'm most excited about The Emperor's New Groove and the Flintstones that he sent me. Pretty sweet games to be sent. Just gotta say, for Game Boy Color, you're just not getting much better than that. And I was super, super pleased with all of the things he sent me, but pretty cool. But Tyler, and this is the one that's really going to appeal to you. And it came today, so I'm glad I get to bring it up in this episode. Tyler, I got Tapeworm today.
Whoa,
and that's a game.
Tapeworm.
That's a game. That's a game, not a condition that I'm dealing with. Yeah.
So that's
So
an Atari 2600 game, right?
it
What
sure
else?
is.
Wait, did we talk about this on the show already?
No, I think I sent you a picture of it like a long time ago because I thought it was funny.
Okay. Did you just
Uh,
get it because it's funny?
Literally, yeah, I literally just got. I'm like, can I justify putting this in my Halloween games? I mean, it's a game called Tapeworm. That's hilarious. Like, again, I think about things as like I want to show people, and like I want to show people Tapeworm. My wife was just like, "This is the best." So if you haven't seen this box, it's like this horrible silver SpectraVision box, and it's got this tapeworm on it, and it's like eating apples, and there's like a bug and a bird on it. You're just like, what is happening? The glasses, the worm is wearing glasses. Just like, okay. And there's another worm and an apple, so it's kind of like a tapeworm eating a worm and like full size. It's very strange. But yeah, I'm just tickled that there's a game called Tapeworm. Yeah, it's hilarious. Like, I didn't want to pay like the $80 that it had been on eBay, and someone finally put one up for like $35, and I was like, okay, fine. And that was shipped. 35 shipped. I was like, fine, deal. Let's do it. And yeah, so I bought Tapeworm because it's hilarious.
If anyone doesn't know what tapeworm is, it's just snake. And I know nobody knows what tapeworm is. So yeah, it's just snake. You know what? I think it is definitely a game worthy of being in your collection, Johnny, just because it's so strange that someone would make a game with that theme that's like a little bit emblematic of the Atari era. That like, yeah, I need to make a cartridge. Tapeworm? Ship it.
Yeah. Hey guys, I was thinking there's not enough games based on parasites, right? So like snakes are scary, but tapeworms, like, what about, yeah, you guys with me? Tapeworm? No? Well, I'm going to make it anyways because it's Atari and I can do whatever I want. What a weird game. What a weird game. Like, not that the game itself is weird, because the game itself is, like, pretty rudimentary and boring. But yeah, it just, like, what a weird thing that someone got through. Just got through. Many people looked at this and went, yep. Someone signed off on this. Did someone lose a bet?
I mean, who knows? The weird part is, like, as a commercial product, like, what kids saw that on the shelf and they're like, Mom, I want tapeworm.
Yeah. Like, every mother's like, no, you don't. Like, also, did we talk about this on the show? How, or maybe it was like in an After Dark at one point, the world, like, tapeworms used to be in diet pills. Like, you get two pills. Yeah.
We definitely talked about this on the show.
One of them was the worm and the other one was the medicine to kill the worm. Oh, weird. Fucking Tapeworm. Tapeworm's a game, guys. Go buy Tapeworm. Anyways, that's what I bought. What did I play? I played more Kirby with my son because that's what he's like trying to do. And I don't think I even played any Lego Star Wars in the last week. I've been kind of busy.
Johnny.
What about you?
I got what am I playing? No, I played the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, Shredder's Revenge. I played it with 4 of my friends. We played 5 people.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Did it have the theme song?
Probably.
Probably.
I was on Discord. I wasn't listening to the music a lot. I only remember the Shredder boss music, which was a rap song, and it was fucking epic. It was awesome. I mean, the production values of the game are off the charts. It looks super good.
I want it. I love that they put the pizza coupon in it.
Yeah, in the physical version. I mean, I bought it on like Game Pass, so I didn't even buy it. I just have it.
You're not going to buy a physical version?
No, I don't. Weirdo. To be clear, I don't like beat 'em up. So this game was like okay, which for a beat 'em up for me is like a glowing review. The only beat 'em up that like I kind of like is like Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. That game was pretty good. And like Castle Crashers is amazing too, which doesn't require a lot of skill. It's just a lot of fun. Yeah, it was fine. It's so. I don't know if this is everyone's experience with the game. So there's a taunt button, which just like it basically freezes you in place for 2 seconds, and then it refills your special attack. And your special attack just creates a bubble around a third of the screen, and everything in that bubble dies, and you're invincible. So when you're playing with 5 people, everyone just recharges their special attack, which just freezes them for 2 minutes, and then uses it. And so when someone uses their special attack, the screen freezes for half a second. So it's just going through the entire level. It's just constantly just like stuttering because people are constantly spamming their special attacks and recharging it. It's so dumb, and it makes the game so easy and pointless. But maybe that was the point. I don't know. I don't know if that's everyone's experience with that game or if that's just the people I played with.
That's weird.
Anyway, Johnny, I brought up this copy of Ultima 5, Warriors of Destiny for the Apple II. It was signed by Lord British and dated from the month it was released. And I brought it up that this came up and sold pretty quickly, and it might have been an interesting thing. I don't even remember why I brought it up, but it was relisted. I don't know why it was relisted, and this time I just went and bought it, Johnny.
You did it. You got it. You had regret in the last episode.
I didn't have a lot of regret, but I have 2 copies of Ultima 5, and I went in and looked at both of my copies, and this insert, which may be like some kind of special pre-order version, which would be pretty cool if I could find out if it is, but there's 2 inserts in it, like little advertising inserts that I didn't have, so I figured in the absolute worst case, if this is like a fake signature or something, or this is absolutely just not a special version of Ultima 5, worst case scenario, now I have 100% complete in box Ultima 5. So cool. And that's on my list to play this year as well, because I just beat Ultima 4. Another cool thing I got, Diablo Hellfire, so the official expansion to Diablo 1, which was made by Sierra. It's like a licensed expansion pack that wasn't made by Blizzard. It's a weird thing.
That is weird.
I finally got that for a price I wanted to pay. And then the last thing, Johnny, I think you're a Call of Duty fan. Maybe this is exciting to you. Johnny, I browse a lot of random PC stuff. I go to bed, and before I go to bed, I open up my save search app, and I'm just browsing all these random hits for all these broad save searches I have. And Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Resurgence pack came up. And I browse a lot of Call of Duty listings because I'm looking for interesting Call of Duty stuff. This is the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 PC map pack, a physical version of it. And I've never seen it before. And this could be like the kind of thing where it's just like, it's just on Amazon, Tyler, and no one puts their copies on eBay. But I've never seen it. It was $4. So I got the physical DLC for Modern Warfare 2. I guess that's cool. Yeah, sure. I'm into it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that fine.
I don't think I've ever played multiplayer Call of Duty. How do you feel about that? I only play the campaigns. 100% campaigns.
That's so weird. That's like super weird, actually. That makes you a monster, I think.
No, I mean, I got bored. Like, Modern Warfare 2 was the last one I was like playing them all the time. Oh wait, no, I played the new Modern Warfare. I played a bunch of multiplayer with my friends. I'm lying. That game's pretty good.
Okay, so yeah, I was like, wow, that sounds like something that
I was in 2007. I don't think I was playing a lot of multiplayer FPS, but before that, I was into like Quake and Unreal, but also I guess and like Battlefield. I played a lot more multiplayer FPS in like the 90s, early 2000s for some reason.
Okay, it's weird. All right,
is that it
though? Yeah. Anything else you want to throw in there? I mean, you got anything else for me?
I did put down a note. What was my note? No, I put down a note about the Galf Gold cartridge.
Yeah,
sure. Talked about.
The note is when we do the influential games episode that we're gonna fight about some stuff.
I also have a note about wishing away poop, which I think is an after dark conversation you wanted to have.
Maybe I don't even remember what that was now.
I think
what a hot teaser to join our Patreon.
Maybe if you had 3 wishes, would one of them be to wish away poop?
Was that what it was?
I don't know. I
think
know.
That was your thing.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? A wish is really valuable. I'm not going to wait. I'm not for these like, what are your 3 wishes? Oh, I'm going to pick a quirky one that is clearly a bad wish, but it shows like an aspect of my personality or something I care about. Like, fucking no, give me like omnipotence. Give me like superpowers and immortality. I'm not wasting my wishes on frivolous things to reveal my personality to strangers, Johnny.
Okay. You want to keep going? Like, I'm really curious to hear your three wishes. Do you want to go into the after dark and explore your 3 wishes with me, or you want to keep it out here?
I mean, my three wishes.
Not, I mean, tell me, make the decision because I'll give you mine
No,
as well.
we're just gonna do it real fast, Johnny. But
oh, that's not how this conversation goes. We're gonna be here another hour.
The first thing I'm gonna do with wishes, I'm going to try to figure out a way to game the system to get infinite wishes. Because
let's
if it's against the rules, I'm wishing that the rules were different. And if
let's set up some bindings. Okay, there's a binding that no more wishes can be created. Expressly, there's no way to break this rule. You have 3. Only 3. You can only have 3. There's no way around it. It's completely bound. Okay. There's no wishing for more. There's no unwishing the rules. None of that shit works.
Okay.
You got 3.
I wish the rules could be broken.
Tyler. that can't happen. Like it.
I wish it could happen.
Okay, look, if you do that, here's what'll happen. Let's make it like an old NES game. If you try to do it and it can't be done, it just fails, and now you've wasted a wish. You can wish that the attempt is made, and then guess what happens? Nothing.
No one ever wished the Game Genie free, Johnny. Yeah. I'm sorry, I stole that joke from the hard drive. All right, anyway, my first wish is absolutely for omnipotence, which is the best superpower, because if you know everything,
let me get your full definition of omnipotence. Like, you know everything that is now, everything that ever was, and everything that ever will be?
Yes.
Like, you have complete...
I know everything. And I have the mental
that
capacity to process it. So it's not like...
That's got to be another wish. You have to wish for that first.
I could do a compound wish.
Jinns are evil creatures of chaos.
If this is a monkey paw situation, I am not wishing at all.
Oh, yeah, look, like, they will fuck you. They'll just, you're like, I wish I was omnipotent. And like, all of a sudden, you are just a drooling pile of flesh. And you're just like, you can't do anything. You're just destroyed mentally because you wish for that. So, yeah, you gotta make sure your brain can handle it first. So you want to I would be very careful.
No, we're dealing with the Aladdin genie, who is a friendly genie.
Never had a friend like me.
Never had a friend like him. Yeah, definitely omnipotent. Because there's no. If I want to be invisible, or I want super speed, or I want to fly, not only could I build a jetpack if I was omnipotent, I would know how to build the physically most efficient form of human flight that could ever be conceived. I could do anything. Being omnipotent would be the best.
I'm in the mood to help you, dude, but that's what
do you know what?
Just always trying to game the system.
What are you talking? It's not gaming the system. Omnipotence is a real superpower.
You're like, I don't need.
And I could be like, I'm not happy. Let me just omnipotently think of what's the thing that would make me the most happy in life, and then I just immediately go do that.
Yeah. What if? I still think you get monkey's pod out here. So here's what happens. Like, let's say you've got the capacity to be omnipotent, right? You just have the ability to know everything. And there's just so much unwanted knowledge that you would find yourself being like, I just wish I could find a way to make myself happy. And then you would realize the only way to make yourself happy would probably be killing yourself. Because the solutions they're never going to be good enough. They're never going to be permanent. People are always going to be terrible. Like, you would just know all of these horrible things. You would know about all the child rapes and murders happening instantly all the time. Fuck that.
So,
no,
okay.
Thank you.
No, I want to select my omnipotence. I don't know everything at all times, but I can choose what things I want to know. So I could be like, oh, what is Johnny thinking right now? And I would know that immediately, but I wouldn't immediately have the thoughts of everyone in my brain at all times.
You're like, yeah, banana and cucumber would be terrible in a salad together.
Yes. But I do think you're correct that when, if I was omnipotent and I was like, what's the way to be happy? The eventual solution is just oh yeah, kill yourself. And it just becomes like a Dr. Manhattan situation where he's like, I know everything and I'm better than everyone. So I'm just going to move to Mars because everyone's worthless now. So it's probably a bad wish. If I actually thought about it, maybe
I can't wait to see your blue junk leave Mars.
Yes.
Okay. That's your first wish. Okay. What's your second one?
Once that's the ultimate wish. Once I do that, I'm at this point where I'm a drooling mess, or I'm Dr. Manhattan on Mars, or I have suddenly lost interest in everything because there's nothing to excite me anymore because I know everything. What's you? I have nothing after that. I've always thought that that would be my superpower, and like thinking back to like literally like Watchmen, like no, maybe that's a horrible superpower and would
Yeah.
definitely lead to me being devastated and unhappy and unfulfilled for the rest of my life.
Yeah. I mean, and imagine you could never have real conversations with people. What a fucking
Oh
horror
my!
show.
I would already know everything they would say to me at all. Oh
Yeah.
my god!
Oh, God. Yeah. Yeah.
Jeez.
You fuck that. No, thank you. God. Okay. So I have like this weird, it's like one of two things. Okay. So I wish I had a pocket dimension I could step into and then create my own reality. Basically, like in my mind, it's like I can step into a library and then I can visit any of the world and all the books there. And in that reality, time freezes. I do not age. I can come in and go at any age that I've ever been, but not something that I'm not already. I can just enter worlds at any point that, are like fantasy or create my own via this pocket dimension. And again, time stops. You don't age. You can go in there. You can experience years. You can choose to age while you're in the dimension, but when you come out, nothing has happened.
Okay.
1 second has passed.
I just want to point out that you were like, "Oh, you want omnipotence? Well, you need to also wish for the ability to process all that information. You can't combine those two wishes." And your wish is like, "I want a pocket dimension, but here's all the things that are going to happen in the pocket dimension. Here's all the conditions that come."
Oh
with
no,
it,
that
and
I would be fine. No, I would be fine wasting all of my wishes to get some version of that. It's like, okay, I want a pocket dimension that is sculpted to whatever reality I want. Okay, is that 2 wishes or 1 wish? And then I don't age when I'm there. Fine, 2 wishes.
No, you can put as much as you want into 1 wish, especially if it's a monkey paw one, because they'll let you do whatever the fuck you want, and then they'll fuck you over.
They give you enough rope to hang yourself with. That's
Yes.
the point of the monkey's paw. I don't think that's like a super compound wish. Anyways, what other wishes? We'll say fine. Keep going. What is your other wish then? You got 2 more wishes. What else do you want?
It's definitely not immortality. Immortality, I think, is maybe the only wish that's worse than omnipotence. That sounds like really attractive on its surface.
Again, and that's like a monkey's paw. Like you find your body keeps aging forever and just like breaking down, or you just get Alzheimer.
Let's do After Dark. We're just going to talk about, because this was our After Dark topic for real. Let's talk about perpetual immortality. I mean, it would either be for something like wealth, or maybe not immortality, but like me and everyone I love will live for another 10,000 years. Because you know what? Even if there's a nuclear holocaust, like if something horrible happens, which hopefully it doesn't, but if there's a reason that like me or anyone I love has to live in a situation that like, if they like get, dumped in a volcano or something, probably that is not something that would happen within 10,000 years. And if it does, that's a lot better than eternity forever of living in a volcano. So I'm going with living for 10,000 years, and not aging, let's say.
And perpetual immortality sounds horrible.
Yep.
Just like, and again, I just think you'd monkey's paw. Like your brain isn't designed for it. So you would like, what if you just got Alzheimer's? Like that,
you got to make a compound wish, and perfect health, and I have
and your brain has
that
the ability.
Deposit into my stock or my bank account of whatever currency is the best currency of the day.
Yeah, I mean, this doesn't matter because you could always you could be so ahead of the curve, it wouldn't matter. You would just be like, all right, and in case everything fails, I've buried a bunch of gold over here, and like you just like I put a little bit of money in a bank, and it's just gonna like roll on forever.
The problem is that over a long enough period, like banks aren't going to be a thing. Like I honestly, like I think there is a chance of just the world ending within my lifetime, just of like nuclear holocaust, whether it's Russia and the United States, or just like crazy terrorists finally figure out how to build nukes, or they take over nukes in a country that weakly guards them, and they're just like, we're terrorists, we're gonna start a nuclear holocaust right now and blow up like 75% of the world.
Yeah, or a global pandemic actually that comes that is super deadly and just wipes life off the face of the earth. Sure, it could happen.
Yeah. So anyway, Johnny, my third wish, unironically, is going to be to set the genie free. And this isn't out of altruism. It's going to be because I'm expecting a reward like Aladdin getting the genie to just walk around with him for fucking ever. Aladdin is like, I love you, genie. I'm going to set you free. And now he's a fucking personal genie? Are you serious? Like, Aladdin, that was not a selfless wish.
The genie bails, instantly leaves, goes on vacation, packs his bag, goes to Disneyland.
Absolutely not. We're pretending to be its friend. Also, we're stringing it along. We're not making these 3 wishes. I mean, I'm going to be thinking about my 3 wishes, so I'm not going to be making them one right after another. But
so you're going to be like out in the rain. Genie. You're going to be out in the rain with Genie, and you're like, oh, this rain sucks. And Genie's like, don't worry about it. Here's an umbrella. Boom. You're just going to keep him.
Here's an umbrella? No, he's going to be like, oh, boom. Here, it's a sunny day now because I'm a fucking genie.
Yeah, but then if you always did that, then your plants wouldn't get watered and things would.
Oh, your plants are dead? Bam. Now they're alive. And then me and Genie are going to go to Mars and be like, Genie, nothing matters. And he's going to be like, I know.
And he's already blue, and then his junk will be out. Oh my God, is Dr. Manhattan the genie?
Oh my God.
Or is the genie Dr. Manhattan?
Watchmen predates Aladdin. The genie is blue because Dr. Manhattan is blue.
Yeah. Yes. So the crux of time, like what we don't know is Aladdin is actually set several 100,000 years in the future. And this is what's become of Dr. Manhattan.
Oh, man. This is the crossover event I didn't know existed.
Yeah, that's your new headcanon. Congrats. You're welcome. Okay, you got a third wish? Besides that?
No, my third wish is wealth and happiness and living long, and my third wish is freeing the genie.
Yeah, so like another version of that wish is just that like I could enter any story, like at any point and as any character, just like the same version of that, like Pocket Rail. It's like, oh, I just want to. Like, not necessarily, like, I could take over a character's part, or I could just be, just a person in that world. I always, just like, always want to enter the worlds that I'm interacting with.
What's that TikTok trend of people who do that?
I don't know.
Oh, man, you're not up to date with the kids. There's this whole community of people who are, like, I don't know if it's a joke that everyone plays along with, but they have like rituals to lucid dream where they become characters in fictional worlds. And like a popular thing is like everyone is like, I was there. I was dating Draco Malfoy, and it wasn't a dream. I was really there. I forget what it's called.
Nope.
But
it sounds like someone hit the stevia a little hard and
Hold on. I can't believe you don't know what this is.
I have never heard of any of them.
Oh, you need to look into it. We need to end this episode, by the way, too.
Oh, all right. That's it. Thanks. Bye.
We didn't say where we're from.
It's Default Gen, Default Gen. You can find him on the Video Game Sages and on our Patreon. And once in a while on Instagram, and I'm Johnny, that's Johnny_Iucci, and you can find me on Instagram and our Patreon. Thanks so much for listening. That's our show. And if you want to hear about them wishes, you know what to do. Go to the Discord and find it. All right, bye.
That is our show. I just want to make it very clear. The CU podcast from Pat the NES Punk put out 2 YouTube videos from their podcast with... There were separate topics. It was like, how would you rebuild your collection if you lost everything? And what are 5 games you would own complete in box? Like, you put those 2 together, and that is basically our episode. And we recorded this like a week and a half ago. We are not over here cribbing ideas from the CU podcast, I promise, as basic of an idea as this episode was anyway. I have to go. I am waking up at 3 a.m. tomorrow. I don't have time to make new nicknames for the new patrons and give everyone a shout out this week. I'm very sorry. You are all very appreciated. 8-bit music, APE-bit, like the monkey. .bandcamp.com. He does our intro music. Special shout out to our brand new patrons, NZ Collector, another one of these GBA guys. We have so many GBA guys in the Discord. Also, GBO Metric from Trading Games, tradinggames.com, giving you the free shout out for your Patreon pledge here. No, Trading Games is actually a good website because they show you the actual video games that you're purchasing. And it's not like bullshit old stock from 3 years ago that you buy it and they're like, oh, you bought a Contra from us for $100? Actually, we meant to price that at $300, which is definitely something that has actually happened to me. Oh, I don't have to say anyone's names now. I can just go to bed. All right, see ya.